Well, what's up, Deathworlders? We're finally here, we're finally doing the stream. Let's go! Get hype, all 0 viewers according to the thing. Jolly good. Well, I have just dropped in Discord. Everybody should be getting in here and getting hype because we are going to narrate some live stuff. And I should not be able to hear myself, god damn it. Right, let's shut up, let's shut myself up. There we go. Awesome! How are we all doing this fine evening? Tell me, this is some of that rare audience interaction you guys get from me. JQ3B94, you need a better name for me to narrate. Welcome, good sir. Crimson Fox Onusei. Hi, I don't speak Japanese, unfortunately, so I probably bungled that. Lakael05, I am here, yes you are. Cheetah5445, 0 of me. Crimson Fox Onusei, we live. Excellent. Jim Flint, nice play button. Yes! I did put up a video a little while ago showing that I did receive the play button, but the problem is I had nowhere to put it. Until now. It is right there. I am flying it proud, and hey, if we get to 1 million subscribers one day, we will get a gold play button on that top shelf. Or the bottom shelf. I'm probably going to do a lot of rearranging. So yes, so first of all, I need to apologize to you guys for not doing this stream sooner. And I've not been able to do community events as much. Because I've been moving places pretty much. There was an old video about 2-3 years ago where I moved into a converted church for the first time, and I showed the area, and this happened when something bad happened with YouTube, so I took it as an opportunity to show you this place. My new place, however, is a bit different. As you can see, I have an office. I have a wonderful recording studio. Now, I'm going to take a risk here and point the webcam around. So, I've got plenty of drinks, coffee machine, whiskey, beer, and plenty of water. All I need to record, as you can see, this is a full-on recording studio. Well, I have been working hard on this. I want to say that somebody else did it for me, because they were meant to come here this morning. And they didn't show up, so I had to basically make the desk. I made that bookcase up, bit of DIY. It's all sorted now, it's all great, but if you're looking for me to publish a new chapter of Galactic High, that ain't happening anytime soon. Well, it's probably going to happen this weekend, but I've just been so busy moving into this new place, so I'm very sorry I've been delaying this stream. It was meant to happen a little while ago when I hit 300,000, but I was in between places, living with my parents, and I was not going to do a spicy stream with them around. Anyway, wow, 17 viewers, we're doing pretty well. Anyway, Cheetah staying alive. Ever since the Helldiver stream, level 10 dice became a norm for me. Well, they were a norm for me when level 10 was first done, Junior Helldiver. So we will be doing a few more streams of Helldivers at some point. I've certainly got the capacity to do it now. So yeah, as I say, I've basically been spending this entire week moving into this new place, like dismantling the IKEA bed, putting the IKEA bed back together, packing stuff in boxes, then finding out new places to put them. It isn't the easiest thing. But I was able to record in the meantime. I did record videos today, including ones for Just One Drop, so I probably need to drop a few more of those chapters later on for members, so I'll be aiming to do that probably after the stream, maybe tomorrow morning, depending on how drunk I get. Anyway, who else have we got? Order of the Paperclip. Oh god, yeah. That basically convinced me never to be late for any Discord event of my own creation ever again, because I was late by half an hour, and they committed the biggest act of autism ever, which, don't get me wrong, I'm autistic myself, is bloody impressive. But it also terrified me at the same time. But if you're not on the Discord, get on the Discord. All the fun stuff happens here. As you can see, I've just put stuff in general chat. We also have a special channel here for live narrations. Now, when I first announced this, people have been dropping their suggestions for things for me to narrate during this live stream. And, you know, I might do some off the cuff, you know, suggestions in the chat or whatever. I'll do that as well. So, for example, we've got stuff from Urban Dictionary, we got stuff from the SCP universe, you name it. So if there's something you really, really want me to do, either pop it in chat and hopefully I'll spot it in time, or stick it on the live narration channel in the Discord. It's right here under primary text channels, live narration. If you want to join the Discord, my links are all over the place. I've got my mods. My mods are in here as well, so they can direct you to the right place for the best HFY community. Fuck it, I'm gonna say it. The best HFY community on Discord can be found right here, and possibly the official HFY Discord as well. But we don't worry about them. Anyway, let's just see who else we got. Yeah, Michael Fuller, witness me. You are witness, good sir. Yeah. Jim Flynn has my location. I'm not saying, yeah, you do as well. SCP-420J. Yep, absolutely. Add it to the Discord. I will do it. Now, let's start, shall we? I've already preloaded a few. So if I'm able to do my scene transition thing. There we go. Yes, I did it. Right, so this first one, this is called The Egg. This was suggested by JQ3B94. Or the other Joe. I'm just going to call you the other Joe. This is a short story written by Andy Weir. First published on his website GalactaNet on August 15th, 2009. And it's a popular short story. And I'm going to read it. So, here we go. I'll take a sip of coffee first. We're in for a long night. The Egg by Andy Weir. You were on your way home when you died. It was a car accident. Nothing particularly remarkable, but fatal nonetheless. You left behind a wife and 2 children. It was a painless death. The EMTs tried their best to save you, but to no avail. Your body was so utterly shattered, you were better off. Trust me. And that's when you met me. What happened? You asked. Where am I? You died, I said, matter-of-factly. No point in mincing words. There was a truck, and it was skidding. Yup, I said. I died? Yup, but don't feel bad about it. Everyone dies, I said. You looked around. There was nothingness. Just you and me. What is this place? You asked. Is this the afterlife? More or less, I said. Are you God? You asked. Yup, I replied. I'm God. My kids. My wife, you said. What about them? Will they be all right? That's what I like to see, I said. You just died and your main concern is for your family. That's good stuff right there. You look at me with fascination. To you, I didn't look like God. I just looked like some man, or possibly a woman. Some vague authority figure, maybe. More of a grammar school teacher than the Almighty. Don't worry, I said. They'll be fine. Your kids will remember you as perfect in every way. They didn't have time to grow contempt for you. Your wife will cry on the outside, but will be secretly relieved. To be fair, your marriage was falling apart. If there's any consolation, she'll feel very guilty for feeling relieved. Oh, you said. So what happens now? Do I go to heaven or hell or something? Neither, I said. You'll be reincarnated. Ah, you said. So the Hindus are right. All religions are right in their own way, I said. Walk with me. You followed along as we strode through the void. Where are we going? Nowhere in particular, I said. It's just nice to walk while we talk. So, what's the point then? You asked. When I get reborn, I'll just be a blank slate, right? A baby. So all my experiences and everything I did in this life won't matter. Not so, I said. You have within you all the knowledge and experiences of all your past lives. You just don't remember... You just don't remember them right now. I stopped walking and took you by the shoulders. Your soul is more magnificent, beautiful and gigantic than you can possibly imagine. A human mind can only contain a tiny fraction of what you are. It's like sticking your finger in a glass of water to see if it's hot or cold. You put a tiny part of yourself into the vessel, and when you bring it back out, you've gained all the experiences it had. You've been in the human for the last 48 years, so you haven't stretched out yet and felt the rest of your immense consciousness. If we hung out here for long enough, you start remembering everything. But there's no point to doing that between each life. How many times have I been reincarnated then? Oh, lots. Lots and lots. As in, there we go. And into lots of different lives, I said. This time around, you'll be a Chinese peasant girl in 540 AD. Wait, what? You stammered. You're sending me back in time? Well, I guess technically. Time, as you know it, only exists in your universe. Things are different where I come from. Where you come from? You said. Oh, sure, I explained. I come from somewhere. Somewhere else. And there are others like me. I know you'll want to know what it's like there, but honestly, you wouldn't understand. Oh, you said, a little let down. But wait, if I get reincarnated to other places in time, I could have interacted with myself at some point. Sure. Happens all the time. And with both lives only aware of their own lifespan, you don't even know it's happening. So, what's the point of it all? Seriously? I asked. Seriously? You're asking me for the meaning of life. Isn't that a little stereotypical? Well, it's a reasonable question, you persisted. I looked you in the eye. The meaning of life, the reason I made this whole universe, is for you to mature. You mean mankind? You want us to mature? No, just you. I made this whole universe for you. With each new life you grow and mature, and become a larger and greater intellect. Let me move over that side. Just me? What about everyone else? There is no one else, I said. In this universe, there's just you and me. You stared blankly at me. But all the people on Earth? All you. Different incarnations of you. Wait, I'm everyone? Now you're getting it, I said, with a congratulatory slap on the back. I'm every human being who ever lived? Or who will ever live. Yes. I'm Abraham Lincoln? And you're John Wilkes Booth, too, I added. I'm Hitler, you said, appalled. And you're the millions he killed. I'm Jesus? And you're everyone who followed him. You fell silent. Every time you victimize someone, I said, you are victimizing yourself. Every act of kindness you've done to yourself. Every happy and sad moment ever experienced by any human was, or will be, experienced by you. You thought for a long time. Why? You asked me. Why do all this? Because someday you will become like me. Because that's what you are. You're one of my kind. You're my child. Whoa, you said, incredulous. You mean I'm a god? No, not yet. You're a fetus. You're still growing. Once you've lived every human life throughout all time, you will have grown enough to be born. So the whole universe, you said, is just an egg, I answered. Now it's time for you to move on to your next life. And I sent you on your way. And that's the end of that one. All right. What do you think of that? I think that was pretty good. Nice classic short. Oh, I need coffee. Did slip up a few times. So a lot of people wonder what happens behind the scenes when I'm recording. Like, people ask for bloopers a lot, but it's not always me laughing. Sometimes my flub-ups are just I mispronounce a word, or my throat sticks, or anything can happen, or I just completely bugger up a sentence. So actual bloopers that make me laugh, I do tend to keep in, but I have a little bit of a speech impediment, so that does kick in from time to time, as you heard there. But apart from that, I think that went pretty well. All right, who have we got? AJ Skimara Rodinsky. Oh, pronouncing stuff tonight is going to be fun, especially after several whiskeys. Speaking of which, this is a Glenfiddich Caribbean Reserve. I popped it out when I first moved into this place, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And it's also good for clearing the throat after doing that. Oh wow! Thank you very much. Like also 5 Canadian dollars. I'm assuming 50 Canadian dollars. Wow. I will admit I'm going to have to make that conversion later. But thank you very much. You don't need to send me money. I'm happy to do this for free. Like, you know, just enjoy the stream. This is our reward for hitting 300,000. Anyway, what was AJ saying? I think if there's going to be a new series done, I suggest circling back around to Perfectly Wrong. Okay. I'll take a look. Are you the author of that by any chance? I've had people do that before. I'm called Raspy Drellion in Discord. Ah, Raspy Drellion. Okay. Wicker 38, Vitmori POV. You died, but don't worry, you got better. Yeah. Okay, that would actually count as Vitmori. It's a shame the writer hasn't written any more chapters of that, because I really enjoyed that one. So the Survivor becomes a dungeon. So if he does any more, I'll keep going. Like, I never abandoned the series ever. Now, the status of the Deathworlders is, you know, up there, but I am still technically doing that. I have pledged to continue doing that. But it's a shame, because some of the series I've done, the authors just stopped. And this has happened to some series I've really enjoyed doing. And it's really annoying. It's not all of my series have come to a definitive ending. Billy Bob did, and I really enjoyed that. But you've also got others like Humans Don't Make Good Pets, for example. Not Human from a Dungeon. The Survivor becomes a dungeon. Yeah, I need to do some more dungeon core at some point. Anyway, gender bent. Well, maybe a live stream from the only person on YouTube that actually managed to produce content I like enough to become a changed member. Look. Okay, well, thank you very much, Lost Angels Corner. What, Lost Angels Corner? You're not Lost Angel yourself? Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you being a member. And as I say, I'm happy to keep the content coming, and thank you for being a member, because that helps keep you going. I mean, I've got to pay the bills at some point. Martin Cott here, everyone. Everyone from Discord I could recognize. You might recognize me. I'm Net Narrator on Discord as well. Matthew Max Jackson, that's an awfully busy favorites bar. Right, do I have anything compromising there? No, I don't. Cyclopedia's dead. The Misty Owl, that was like a D&D game from 10 years ago. Is that 8chan or 4chan? I'm pretty sure that's 8chan. That site's been dead for years as well, so I haven't updated my favorites bar in a while. I've got nothing to hide. I've got no porn along there. I'm not going to suddenly type into my web address and... Oh, hang on. Let's try. Let's see the funny challenge. Let's go through the letters and see if any... Are any porno links going to come in here? Go on, I'm an absolute madman. Nope, apparently not. There we go. Absolute madman. I just typed away. No porn links in there whatsoever. You know, no Vorsh Fairy porn or Wings of Redemption looking at BBC Shemale or anything like that. You know, I shouldn't even be mentioning this. There's no way I'm going to be able to get this stream monetized. But anyway. Thank you. Yeah, I like the shelf as well. I thought that the blue color, the lights would do well. And honestly, I wanted somewhere where I could put the play button. That was the main thing. But also, like, padding out this room a little bit, getting more of a look for YouTubers. I'm a pamper who I want to pamper here. No. Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate you pampering me. Buddy Ball Space Rocket, yeah. A funny thing was, I actually finished that series by the time the first episode of that debuted. It wasn't I don't think it was last year, it was the year before. This year, like the 2024, 24 to 25 year, that was Nature of Predators debuting on the channel. But I think it was Billy Bob before that. Then it was I debuted Galactic High. What did I do before that? I can't remember. I do remember doing J-Verse at one point, and I'm nowhere near catching up to that one. Anyway, Life of the Teenage Hellwater. Oh, yeah, that was one of the first ones I did as well. That was really good as well. But you know, the guy had IRL stuff. I've just heard more than a few AI dub chapters. Oof. Don't even get me bloody started about those guys. They copy my tags. They copy my titles. They want to copy me, but they're just not me. Did my second listen through of Survival because of Dungeon? Yeah, I'm all caught up with that. If you remember, yes, you are. Galactic High leaving me on cliffhanger is going to be hard to... Yep, well, I'm the one that writes Galactic High, so I love doing that, because I've got to make sure you guys stick around an entire week. More, as of late, I will admit, because I haven't been getting chapters up on time. You know, I want to hook you in for the next chapter, so I'm glad to be doing that. TV license... Oh, yeah, don't even get me started about that. If YouTube doesn't pay you for this stream, I will. Well, I appreciate it, but I think YouTube has me covered. I'm actually on relatively good terms with YouTube. Believe it or not, I was invited to their Christmas party last year, and I got absolutely smashed. I probably made an absolute fool of myself, but yeah, I seem to have done all right. And you know, the guys there, it was cool meeting a bunch of other YouTubers there, and it was really great. Net knows how to use incognito mode confirmed. I will neither confirm or deny that. I will not confirm or deny that I'm a man of culture. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing. Thank you very much for the lovely comments. And thank you very much for the donation, Lakalos. Right, what do we got? What have I got queued? Ah, yes! To be or not to be. So, to be or not to be is a speech given by Prince Hamlet in the so-called nunnery scene of William Shakespeare's play Hamlet. Act 3, Scene 1. The speech is named for the opening phrase, itself among the most widely known and quoted lines in modern English literature, and has been referenced in many works of theatre, literature, and music. Now, I was told to just do the soliloquy, but I'll read the Wikipedia article as well. In the speech, Hamlet contemplates death and suicide, weighing the pain and unfairness of life against the alternative, which might be worse. It is not clear that Hamlet is thinking of his own situation, since the speech is entirely in an abstract, somewhat academic register, that accords with Hamlet's status as a recent student at Wittenberg University. I've got a cold beer as well. Cheers. Furthermore, Hamlet is not alone as he speaks, because Ophelia is on stage, waiting for him to see her, and Claudius and Polonius have concealed themselves to hear him. Even so, Hamlet seems to consider himself alone, and there is no definite indication that the others hear him before he addresses Ophelia, so the speech is almost universally regarded as a sincere soliloquy. Text. There are 3 main copies of Hamlet. The first quarto, also known as the Bad Quarto, published in 1603. Why is it bad, bro? The second quarto, or Good Quarto, of 1604, and the version included in the first folio, published in 1623. These texts are commonly abbreviated Q1, Q2, and F1. Okay. 3 additional early texts are known. John Smethwick's Q3, Q4, and Q5, 1611 to 37. These are regarded as reprints of Q2 with some alterations. This version preserves most of the first folio text. What the fuck? With updated spelling, punctuation, and 5 common emendations introduced from the second Good Quarto. Italicized. Alright, let's get into the meat of the thing. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep. No more, and by a sleep, to say we end, the heartache, and the thousand natural shocks. That flesh is heir too. 'Tis a consummation, devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep. To sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death what dreams may come, when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office and the spurns, and that patient merit of unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make, with a bare bodkin, who would fardels bear, to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something under death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have, than fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought, and enterprise of great pitch and moment. With this regard their currents turn awry, and lose the name of action. Soft you now, the fair Ophelia, nymph in thy horizons, be all my sins remembered. Oh, we got more, have we? First Quattro, 1603. The first Quattro is a short early text of Hamlet. Though it was published in 1603, it was lost or not known until a copy was discovered in 1823. It contains a number of unique characteristics and oddities. When it was discovered, it was thought to be an earlier version than the second Quattro, but is now considered by scholars to be derivative or pirated and imperfectly remembered. In the version below, the spelling is updated, along with minor alterations of scansion, capitalization, and punctuation. To be or not to be? Aye, there's the point. To die, to sleep, is that all? Aye, all. No, to sleep, to dream. Aye, marry, there it goes. For in that dream of death, when we awake, and born before an everlasting judge, from whence no passenger ever returned, the undiscovered country at whose sight, the unhappy smile and the accursed damned. But for this, the joyful hope of this, who'd bear the scorns and flattery of the world, scorned by the right rich, the rich cursed of the poor, the widow being oppressed, the orphan wronged, the taste of hunger or a tyrant's reign, and thousand more calamities besides, to grunt and sweat under this weary life, when that he may his full quietus make, with a bare bodkin who would this endure, but for a hope of something after death, which puzzles the brain, and doth confound the sense, which makes us rather bear those evils we have, than fly to others that we know not of. Aye that, oh, this conscience make cowards of us all. Lady in thy horizons, be all my sins remembered. Okay, more, why not? Second Quattro, 1604. The text of the second Quattro, Q4, is considered the earliest version of the play. In Q2, the whole nunnery scene, including to be, takes place later in the play than in Q1, where it occurs directly after Claudius and Polonius have planned it. The inclusion of soft you now suggests that Hamlet has not, or is feigning having not, seen Ophelia thus far during his speech. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep, no more, and by a sleep, to say we end, the heartache, and the thousand natural shocks, that flesh is heir too, 'tis a consummation, devoutly to be wished to die, to sleep,
perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come, when we have shuffled off this mortal coil. Mut guil vipoli. What the fuck? There's the
Okay, right. I don't know what that says. Let's give it a go.
Mut guil vipoli. There's the respect. That makes calamity of low long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time? The oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of depith slew, the law's delay, the offence of office, and the burns, that patient merit of the unworthy takes, where he himself might his quietus make, with a bare bodkin who would fardels bear, to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the vindiculta country from whose born no trailer returns, puzzles the will, and makes verses rather bore, Thor else we harp.
Oh dear. These are some weird words.
Then fly to others we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards, and thus the nature hue of resolution is licked o'er with the pale craft of thought, and interpreals of great pitch and movement. With this regard their currents turn away, and loose the name of action. Soft you now, the fair Ophelia, nymph in thy horizons, be all my finds remembered.
Yeah, so it looks like it's gone into Old English here, which, is very, very different from contemporary English. Anyway, let's see how much we got left. Okay, not too much longer, and we'll move on to the next one. Let's have some coffee. First Folio, 1623. Mr. William Shakespeare's Comedies, Histories and Tragedies, published by Isaac Jaggard and Ed Blunt in 1623, and better known as the First Folio, includes an edition of Hamlet largely similar to the second quarto. Or quarto. Fuck, I pronounced that wrong, haven't I? Oops. The difference in to be are mostly typographic, with increased punctuation and capitalization. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether it is noble in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep. No more, and by a sleep, to say we end the heartache, and the thousand natural hocks, that flesh is hair too, 'tis a consummation. To outly to be withheld, to die to sleep perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death what dreams may come, when we have hoffled off this mortal coil. Moof, give us pause. There's the respect. That makes calamity of low long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time? The oppreller's wrong, the poor man's contumely, the pangs of depraved lure, the law's delay, the indolence of office and the spurns, that patient merit of the unworthy takes, where he himself might his quietus make, with a bare bodkin, who would their falls bear, to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the vincoloured country from who all born, no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes verses rather bear those ills we have. Then fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the nature hue of resolution is liquid o'er with the pale craft of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment. With this regard their currents turn away, and lure the name of action. Soft you now, the fair Ophelia, nymph in thy horizons, be all my finds remembered.
Cultural impact. To be or not to be is one of the most widely known and quoted lines in modern English, and the speech has been referenced in numerous works of theatre, literature, and music. The two most iconic moments in the play, the Act 3, Scene 1, to be or not to be speech, and the Act 5, Scene 1 image of Hamlet contemplating the skull of Yorick, may be linked when the play is remembered, but the two moments occur in different acts of the play. A plot point of the 1942 film comedy, To Be or Not to Be, involves the first line of the monologue. In the 1957 comedy film, King in New York, Charlie Chaplin recites the monologue, in the shoes of the ambiguous King Shadov. Hamlet's line is the basis of the title of King Vonnegut's 1962 short story, To Be R-O-2-B. The zero is pronounced naught. Okay then, To Be R-naught to be. The narrative takes place in a dystopian future in which the United States government, through scientific advancement, has achieved a cure for both aging and overpopulation. The alphabetical and numeric reformation... The alphabetical/numerical reformulation of Shakespeare's lines serves in the story as the phone number for the Federal Bureau of Termination's Assisted Suicide Request line. In 1963, at a debate in Oxford, Black liberation leader Malcolm X quoted the first few lines of the speech to make a point about extremism in defense of liberty. Last Action Hero, 1993, has Jack Slater, Arnold Schwarzenegger, parody the phrase in a mock trailer of an actionized version of Hamlet, before blowing up a castle behind him just by smoking a cigar. His version has him say, "To be or not to be? Not to be." Star Trek's sixth film, The Undiscovered Country, 1991, was named for the line from this speech, albeit the Klingon interpretation in which the title refers to the future and not death. References are made to Shakespeare during the film, including Klingon translations of his works, and the use of the phrase "tabak tab," roughly meaning whether to continue or not to continue existence. What Dreams May Come, the 1978 novel by Richard Matheson, and his 1998 film adaptation derive their name from a line from this speech. The 1997 film adaptation of George of the Jungle also parodies this line, when George, Brendan Fraser, sees a paraglider dangling off the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge, and notices a rope on the bridge's ledge. He quotes to the audience, "To swing or not to swing?" After deciding swing, George grabs the rope and swings, saving the paraglider. The New Zealand television series Outrageous Fortune takes its title from the words of the third line of the speech. A short Hindi version of To Be or Not to Be was recited by Shahid Kapoor in the 2014 Bollywood film Haida. Stargate Atlantis, the Season 4 Episode 10, named This Mortal Coil, 2008, after the speech, as well as Season 4 Episode 11, named Be All My Sins Remembered, 2008. Oh, Stargate, that's an old one. These episodes involved learning about and fighting the artificial intelligence species Replicator. The virtuoso soliloquy in Carl Michael Bellman's Fredman's Epistles, Actu min Moder, was described by the poet and literary historian Oscar Levitin as the to be or not to be of Swedish literature. The Japanese band P-Model's song 2D or Not 2D of their self-titled album directly references the line. Right, we're done with Wikipedia for today, I think. Alright, how are we all doing? Right, people are also... Right. Don't mind Wikipedia, maybe. Okay, right, let's see the chat. 27 viewers. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Right. Operation Snow Eagle. I'm still doing that. I've caught up. Members will be able to see the chapters, probably. Actually, maybe not the latest one, because I sent that to Scub just for him to check. No VTuber girlfriend. Sadly not. I've been looking, but I've been far too busy, writing Galactic High and failing, setting up the house. Sadly, we have no Dommy Mummy VTuber girlfriend just yet. But then again, not Helldiver Command. Shit.
Deathworlders Commander said, any rumours that I'm simping for VTubers is nothing more than AI propaganda. No, we got to stick to the law on this channel, which is just whatever I happen to be making up at the time, to be honest. But it's great fun. In fact, I'd like to hear your opinions on that. What do you think about the law in my posts? If you have no idea what I'm talking about, go look at the posts and see what I've been doing. Matthew Max Jackson. I enjoyed a recent story called something like an apostrophe. What? Unless that's like you tried to paste something and it turned out blank or something. I don't know. Skydragon73, love your channel, mate. It helps on night shift. Absolutely, and that's why I'm pretty consistent with the uploads once every 6 hours. So, you know, I wake up in the morning and maybe the video hasn't done as well as if I release it in the afternoon. But there's a lot of people working night shifts, a lot of people in different time zones. So I want to have something new out there for you guys to enjoy. So yeah, I'm glad. As I say, like stick Shadowrun story time up, and that will last the entire shift, and probably the ones for the entire week, to be honest, because it's 21 hours. Yeah, I need to see if I can find another record breaker at some point. I mean, the Epstein stuff, I deliberately split that into two to not have that be the record breaker. But that in total that was 25 hours. So maybe I'll have something new. Like I have heard that there may be some new Epstein stuff coming out, which I might consider doing. Which would be just no particular reason. I mean, just because, like, you know me. How about VTuberNet? VTuberNet? I don't know. Can I get some anime titties? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, no. I don't think I'll go the VTuber route. I mean, fair play to them. VTubers are doing quite well. It's just we've got a bunch of gimmicks now. It's like, oh, there's the pink Italian one. It's like, you know, oh, there's this ghostly one, for example. They're coming up with all sorts of gimmicks. So it depends on the gimmick. I might actually reach out to try and collab, depending on if the gimmick is funny enough. So I don't know, like Doomsday Apocalyptic Bunker VTuber GF. I don't know, maybe. Los Angeles Connor, my children love listening to your channel. Oh, I don't know if I'm 100% for kids, mate, but thank you. And my special needs son has actually started voluntarily reading because of this channel. Hey, that's great. That's absolutely great. Absolutely, get reading. Get reading. I mean, I obviously don't know the ages of the kids, but Royal Road is a great place for it. I recommend a bunch of Royal Road stories on the Discord as well, which he might like. I mean, hell, if he's into Pokemon, maybe he'll like some of the Pokemon fanfiction on there. Oh, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, get reading. It's great. It's good. Obviously it's a good skill to know. But you know, read for the sake of enjoying it. And honestly, it's funny because when I was much younger and when I was, a kid is like is in the car on holidays, I wasn't necessarily the sporty kid. Like I did do a few sports. I took up karate. I got a black belt, but I don't do anymore. But reading was one of my number one activities, like just to do. And I was constantly going through books. Like Kindles hadn't been invented yet, so I mean, I was going off to the library pretty regularly. And I was buying new books pretty regularly as well. All of my pocket money went to W.H. Smith and stuff. So I don't know. I mean, I guess it makes sense, looking back, that that's what I ended up doing. But no, I mean, but now it's great. I mean, if I was born now, I mean, there's Royal Road, for example, there's Kindle. Well, there's always Pirate Bay for a few ebooks, but I wouldn't recommend. Well, obviously, I can't condone that. But I mean, everyone's got their own situations. Maybe they want to do that instead. And Net Narrator hot tub episode flashbacks. Yes, I do have a hot tub. I lie. I don't have a hot tub. My parents may end up giving me their hot tub because I don't live too far away from them now. Because they don't use it. And I do have a patio at my new place where I can indeed set up a hot tub. So there may be, in the future, a hot tub stream. I don't know. Maybe I'll call it a hot pub stream and just drink beer. Like this cold one here. Cheers. So yeah, bottles of water, an entire flask of coffee, and whiskey. I swear I don't have an alcohol problem. Anyway, let's have a look at the chat. Shakespeare had to be smoking something. Absolutely. Definitely. Magic and Fireballs are not the same as Plasma and Science was a story that had a lot of potential, but it stopped after about a dozen chapters. Magic and Fireballs, ooh. We do have stories that do that on the channel. A certain one called Galactic High, written by a very, very handsome writer. That involves that. That's more Shadowrun though. I've written that one. There's also Wearing Power Armor to a Magic School, and I'm jealous of that guy's ability to not progress the plot but still write longer chapters than I can. Right. Oh no, it's Scottish. In another 500 years, they won't even recognise it as English at all. Probably not. Change it to dark theme. Yeah. If I do any more Wikipedia stuff, I'll change it to dark mode. Let's see. I'm going to go down the chat really quickly, and then I'm going to try and do something that you actually want me to narrate rather than just reading the chat, because that's lazy. It's just from dungeon stories that are not stolen rule word. Worthy core. DM that to me. Yeah, I might read it my own time. In fact, after Galactic High, if I ever get to the point where I want to get to before I take on a hiatus, I have a dungeon core story in me, which is going to be quite funny. Do I always narrate in light mode? No. No, let me show you. I mean, I've never narrated anything off Wikipedia before, but for example, you know, Reddit is in dark mode. And I don't think that's too questionable what I was browsing through there. A Galactic High is animated. Well, an animator has contacted me. I don't know if it'll actually be done, though. Don't say Stargate is old, I remember watching it as a kid. Yeah, so did I. Haven't watched it as an adult, though. Just One Drop. Oh, God, I love that series. Yeah, that's one of the best on the channel as well. I'm cooking something for you to read, but it'll probably be shit. It's an amateur's translation. Don't say that. I like put it this way. When I feature stories on the channel, I like to try and give like all authors a chance. Like if it's got a reasonable amount of upvotes, I mean, I'm probably going to get into contact with you if I've seen that I've not worked with you before, because you'll get your name out there a little bit, and you might enjoy hearing it. I mean, I've had plenty of rejections, but that's all good. So have some faith in yourself. Like you'll be fine. Let's see. Garsman for sure. Yeah. How many episodes left for Hunter x Huntress? I've caught up to where the author's gone, so you'll have to ask the author. But there's a lot of side stories in there. Anyway, J-Verse. I am still technically doing that one. It's just doing a video for a chapter. There are some specials I've done that take a shorter amount of time than the average J-Verse chapter. So I am committing to carry on doing it, but it's just I need to find the time to do it, and because I barely have enough time to do Galactic High, that's just why I haven't done J-Verse in a while. But I am committing to carrying on. Bear in mind, I've done some mad shit on the channel before. It's just I need to make sure I have the time in my personal life to be able to do that. But hey, I can totally do that. It'll be better than doing some more of the Epstein stuff. Let's be honest. I do not know what possessed me to do that, but I'll have some fun memories of that now. Net Narrator has my blessing to narrate any of my stories, as few as they are so far. Send me a DM. I'll check it out. It's all good. Don't worry. What's Just One Drop about? It's a sexy space babe story set in that universe. But better yet, why don't you just listen to it on the channel? You can find out what it's all about if you do that. Anyway, right. Let's go onto the Discord. Let's see what else people have gone for. Hang on. Let's just make sure I'm not in... Well, I don't want to say compromising tabs. I don't want to share certain information. Okay. So the egg was done. War of the Worlds... Yeah, that's the thing. If you don't send me a link of stuff, I'm not going to, I'm not going to just Google it up, see if I can find it. Besides, that was a radio production, I think. 50 Shades of Grey. That's not in the public domain, so no. However, speaking of public domain, Project Gutenberg, I have done several books from this as specials. I may be doing a few more as well. But that's not for something I can do during a live stream. What about negative reviews, if I have any? I've been working for 5 years. I haven't really had many negative reviews. It's like some of them are just express a negative opinion about a story that features on the channel, for example. So yeah. I want you to narrate some Polish sentences. Well, I'm going to need some alcohol for that one. Now, these look like somebody's just bashed their head on the keyboard several times, and that's how Polish comes out. Okay, so first one. Stol the Pomolamiwaniami Nogami. That sounds Japanese, that's not Polish. Zab Zupa Zaboa. Dab Zupa the Boa. It sounds like you remember? Do you know the? Have you seen the Family Guy skit of Peter Griffin trying to speak Italian? A beebity baba, a beeby baba booby booby. That's what it reminds me of there. And my personal favourite poem made by Jan Brechwa. I can't remember if that's the guy that did The Witcher. Ooh, it's a link. Okay, Patazi Radio. It means bird radio, old enough to be in the public domain. Well, let's click that shit. And it's not too long either. Alright. Now, Google Translate has given the option to translate to English. I will not be doing so. You ready, Polish boys? I'm going to give you a spanking. Anyway, let me just completely have every single Polish person unsubscribe from my channel. Okay. Alright, let's give it a go. Hello, hello. Tu just tacy radio we bronzimny gadżu. Nada ciemiu odensi z pasiego kraju. Brozi. I have to do the accent as well. Niż kadzi natawi aparat. Bo strongly z batacki dla odbiacja narad. Po piewcy. W sprawi. Ko switem bzuski w trawi. Po druggy. Gidsi si. Kriwa eka we letsi. Oh, and before you guys complain, I don't think there is a dark mode for this site. Sorry. Mapuatsi kapako rossi? Poswati, Jack. Polsnak, Kotopatsak. Krionipatak. Apo piat prez dzie siate. Beda siekak, swistak, quillik. Pits pilatak. Impimpilik. Bzatski nastepiuse. Pujes. What? Okay. This does not feel like a real language. Jesus. Slovak Robel kos jaskolka. Kogut. Diskol kil kukulka. Zizigil soa kruk zus batka. Droz sikora I dzielatka. Kazka gaska Jimioluska. Dudek Drsnadel. Bosmie Siuska. Wilga Ziba. Bosnian Zbak. Oraz Kazdi Inibzak. Okay. Puriski, Slovak. Zakzak tak. Hello. Oh, hello. Lo. Tu. I can do this bit. Radio, dijo, ijo. Tijo, trijo. Tru, lu. Pew. Lo. Plo. Hello. I'm gonna get banned from YouTube if this turns out to be like some kind of Holocaust memorial poem or something. I don't know. Nato robel zatalikal. Kostu nuol za miuska. Mius zezek du slonika. By zrosemiek zbiu slokia. Siu, swear, swerk. Swear, quirk. Tu near tita, anizuk. Patri go, natrosil pioka. I widzera si jak koka. Dos tish ari,
Dosk tich lyric. Zwer zwer zerek. Zwer zwer zwerek. I tak zakal zwizik Schwikak. Zwikak. Zwikak. Zwik. Kirakak. Kirakak, yeah. Z as kogut na patiku. Zabiu gwinwi. Kukuriku. Jack Ulis. This is fucking torture. Jack Ulisa tu kolkolka. Razni atu ko za spolka. Kukuriku. Kukuriku? Ni poswalam. Rozbon jiniku. Bies ko jez. Boja ni skapai. Ale kuku ni ustapai. Riku choktu chutra zgursex. Ale kuku mojaresku rezesk. Zakul kala kuku. Nadu jizikul. Stuku puku. Zaschawola. Sisjas. Pilas gidzi. Pilas ko. Pilas to willas. Brez pireska. Jodstu. Bjodstu. Madsko. Dajmi. Rustu. Ayod razu. Wazirki pataki. Were skizbiot. Were swigot. Were zagirek. Otaki. Dashtu. Rustu. Komaz. Wiorek. Pioko. Zianko. Korek. Zrunek. Zrnurek. Shit. Piostu tu. Rusuk tu. Ja siewek iti siwek. Lepi gniastko. Prizdjepto. Priste widz. Widzgo. Nidam si. Moji. Zaishi. Gniasko si wich. Nidans mi. Takis ti. Resist si. Restix si. I wisiski pataki. Skansli big si. Prunes fruenla. Batasia. Miliskja. I taxi. Skonsleka ta lesna. Adiuskia. Well, I think we can all agree, ladies and gentlemen, that I pronounced that absolutely flawlessly. You know, I made absolutely no mistakes with that. I speak perfect Polish. If there are any actual Polish people still with me, despite me butchering your language, please tell me how badly I did. I would love to hear it. Oh dear. I was, and your opinion in the chat. That pretty much reflects how I feel. There's this YouTuber called Zeren that did J-Verse, but he quit now. Oh yeah, Zeren, he's all right. He was on Friends of the Channel. I didn't know if he quit or not. Is he writing Galactic High? While I am the writer of Galactic High, I'm not currently writing Galactic High right now because I'm streaming. Sorry, that's stupid. But I'm being slow with the chapters purely because I haven't written the next one yet. And while I have a roadmap in place, I've just had so much else on my plate that I just haven't been able to knuckle down and do it. So, yeah. Cheetah, please no, not my Polish. So someone's around. So who was it that... it was Primu that stuck that one up. So, yeah. Blame him. Blame him for sticking up something in Polish for me to do. Well, yeah, and blame me for absolutely fluffing it, I will admit. I need to actually learn a little bit of Polish at some point, just so I know what some of these phonetic sounds actually sound like. I can sort of do German. Russian completely eludes me. Turkish eludes me. French, I can do a little French accent. Sort of.
Oh god, Spanish, I find it hard. Like, I had to do something... Like, the story called for me to do a Mexican accent, a heavy Mexican accent. And, like, I've seen Narcos and shows like that, but trouble is they speak in Spanish. They don't speak in English. So the only Mexican voice for that speaking English that I know of is Speedy Gonzales. So if you hear that down the line, my impression of Speedy Gonzales, yeah, don't be surprised if I immediately get my channel banned for that shit, because it wasn't good. I'd run that through Google Translate first if I were you. Oof. Yeah, well, if it turns out it was something serious, then I'm in big trouble. But I don't actually think it was. I think it was something to do with birdsong or something. Is more or less how it reads. Oh, excellent, excellent. I did it correctly. And then just several seconds later, please no mercy. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. And my nose is all blocked up as well, so I've been having to deal with that narrating as well. It's worse than a bloody coke addict. Not that I ever do that shit. Oh dear, absolutely awful. Also, do you really think he's dumb enough to give me access to the power cord? Probably. I am that technologically impaired that I probably would do it at some point. I'm glad I don't speak or understand Polish. Yeah, I do too. It doesn't feel like a real language. It feels like something mystical elves or gnomes would say. And I've lost half the viewers just by trying to do that, apparently. It's a 3-minute read when you know how to read it. Well, guess what? I don't know how to read your language. It is very, very strange. So we're here for the next half hour. Yep. Oh, you think it's torture for you, Net? Yes! Yeah, it was definitely torture for me. It's not worse for people listening. Why we're here just to suffer. Right. Funny is, most of the words here are attempts to write down bird noises. European birds must sound way different. Yeah, the viewer count did drop during that. Well, let's try and let's get it out. We'll get some SCP stuff down eventually. Let's just see what's next on our list. I'll have another bit of whiskey. Oh, that's good stuff. Like, I'm a little bit of a whiskey drinker. This one is... The bottle isn't in here, so I can show you in the box. This is a Glenlivet. Ah, excellent. And I've got the webcam sorted out properly. The Caribbean Reserve. So it's one you don't see every day. I had to buy online. But Caribbean Reserve has it's a bit of a sweet taste, using rum barrels and stuff. The Ritual Steel, I think I did that one. That's a one shot I did. Very, very good. Check my DMs. Well, I'm going to stay on this tab while I check the DMs, just in case it's like a picture of a penis or something. How to read Polish or something. Well, I will do that later. Okay. Who else? Ah, there we go. Ah, okay. Like SO5. Yep, if you want to stick it in the live narration channel, feel free to go ahead. Right, where am I? Oh, I just spotted something that I thought I was going to do as a potential special down the line. Also, I'll have a look. I'll scout it out first. Anyway, let's move back to Discord and see what's there. So, we got a few small things. To be or not to be. This is the one. Okay. Okay, this is sent out completely out of context. Bear in mind, it's nothing to do... Yeah, nothing to do with my Discord, but... Okay. I'm going to say this once, loud and clear, so everyone can understand my perspective. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Parzival, and I'm one of your DLS Discord leaders. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a Ready Player One reference. And for the almost 2 years I have been in this clan, I have grown close to most of the admin team, and love them like brothers. However, I have never in my entire life been this upset and livid. For reasons and names I don't want to drop, I'll spare details. I was being verbally abused by a member, to the point where I was thinking about leaving this clan. But I had to think of what I would lose if I left. I will lose family, people I love and care for. The reason I'm telling you all this is because a clan isn't just for playing games. We all have to learn how to come together in troubling times instead of trying to feel better about ourselves. This is what happens when you do this on the same days you do like something out of the sexy space universe. This isn't a warning or a threat. This is me making a statement. If you have a problem with someone or something, ask them. Don't assume the worst, because 9 times out of 10, you're the one that's going to be wrong. I love Ward, and I love every single one of you members. Let's all just play Destiny and enjoy each other's company. So, this was completely out of context, but from the sounds of it, people are just too damn soft on the internet these days. On the Discord, we have our own... rules and stuff, obviously, but for the most part, it's a neutral space, so... you can call each other a pack of cunts as much as you like, as long as you're, It's like a neutral zone. Just don't, be discriminatory towards people, and that's probably enough. You'll probably be fine. Then again, I'm sure my own mods will probably disagree with me on that. If singing suggestions are allowed. Now, maybe there'll be a Net Narrator karaoke at some point if we hit 500,000 subscribers, which is a possibility, I will admit. I was thinking about doing a karaoke for that, so I don't know. Chat. I don't know. It feels weird calling you all chat. Deathworlders, that name's better. Do you want me to sing on this stream? I'm not against it, but I don't particularly want to do it either. Hey chat, you want to learn slurs? Oh yeah, Lesson also, at 1 million subscribers, I'm going to see the N-word. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not doing that shit. I've got something else planned for 1 million. I'm thinking ahead, but I don't want to take anything for granted. It's a miracle that I've come this far, to be honest. Oh, dear. Yeah, you can clip what you want. Clip it. Clip whatever you want. You should be able to freely do so. Only sea shanties? I could probably do sea shanties. Well, the thing they want me to sing is Singing in the Rain. Do you want me to do that, or do you not? Well, I'll leave that open for a little bit. We can roll it back. We can come back to it. Okay, in the meantime, alright. Now, this was sent without context, so I need to make sure I have permission to do it. Okay, right. So this is the same guy in Discord as is posting here. Okay, yep, it's an HFY. Right, let's do an HFY. Miracle, you're one of the few narrators that don't use a bloody AI to rate those. Yeah, that is true. And, yeah, even some of the ones that do are dodgy as fuck. So yeah, I'm just glad to keep being me. All right, let me get the YouTube window up. Okay, right. This will be The Bloody Incontinence by Ben2512125. Oh god, my nose is blocked up again. More whiskey. Oh, that is the spot. Thing is, the fumes of the whiskey is enough to clear my nose, which is very, very nice. Oh, that's good shit. As is this. Gray's research ship. Extenuating circumstances. Galactic Dominion. Outer Reaches. Al's eyes snapped open. His head throbbed. Coal still pressed against his back, straps biting into his wrists and ankles. Overhead, a glaring light burned his eyes, framing a slender grey alien with bulbous features and soulless black eyes. Naked and clinical, it loomed closer, tools glinting in his delicate fingers, hovered over him. Al groaned. "Effing Gray!" he said to the room.
The amoral scientists of the galaxy, if the stories were anything to go by. How could this shit happen twice to the same guy? For Al had been abducted from Earth about 2 years ago. Humans were a rare and obscure race in the wider galaxy. Humans were pre-FTL, so considered indigenous fauna. Earth's location was not common knowledge, nor was the fact that sentient life could evolve in a death world like Earth a perceived impossibility. The Grey, called Nerith, Al would learn, murmured, "Fascinating evolutionary design, remarkable resilience to infections and an immune response. Remarkable." Looking Al in the eye, "Your eventual vivisection will be most enlightening. You're my first human," she said with levity. Al strained against the restraints. "I'm not a bloody toaster! Stop poking me! Ouch, bugger, that's a sensitive spot! Great bastards!" "Don't worry, it's all for science," Nerith said, in a calm, flat tone. Al continued his outbursts of profanity and threats. Nerith was unfazed. Grey really understood human emotional displays. "We're studying your human physiology. You should be pleased you can contribute to scientific study, even as a primitive." For the advanced Grey were fragile creatures, relying on their enhanced intellect from hundreds of years of eugenics. This had made the Grey a cold, emotionally and morally detached race. Al rolled his eyes. Right, because being able to survive a slap in the face is a real everyday problem when you're an a-hole to everyone you meet. The ship, the extenuating circumstances, lurched violently, making his stomach lurch uncomfortably. Alarms blared. The Grey staggered, holding onto the operating bed, looking like she was about to vomit on Al. Red lights flashed, and a computerized voice announced, "Intruder alert. Sheliak boarding party detected in Sector Delta." But this disruption was exactly what Al needed. He saw a flicker of panic in Nerith's eyes. Al seized the opportunity. Voice urgent and desperate, after the proclamations of the cold grey scientist. "Look, I can help. I'm a human. I can handle these overgrown spider lizards. You know I can." Al had never been anywhere near a Sheliak, the horrifying boogeymen of the galaxy, who, as far as anyone knew, solely eat sentient beings. But he had found the life of distant stars squishy and soft. A slim chance of survival going hand-to-hand with Sheliaks is better than no chance, as a slab of meat on a grey scientist's workbench. Nerith looked at him with unfocused glazed eyes, still trying not to vomit. "You will kill me, human," Nerith gasped, between panic breaths. Al calmly and slowly stated to the Grey, "Look, nothing has happened. You've only poked me with that probe. I'm still in one piece. Or are we going to become Sheliak Chow?" Nerith hesitated, eyes darting towards the door. The sound of distant pulse gun fire echoed from the corridor outside the door. Nerith moved to the door, then turned back. Pulse gun fire thumping closer. Nerith backed away from the door, deactivating the restraint. Let me redo that. Nerith backed away from the door, deactivating the restraints holding Al to the bed. Grabbing a stand flimsy chair. "Right then, let's get moving. The sooner we..." Al trailed off, hitting the door release. Eyes widening as a pang of shock and fear hit him at the grotesque sight. Facing him was a trio of hulking 3-meter-tall Sheliaks. They were matte ceramic white, 7 eyes blinking independently, cybernetics integrated into their forms, each holding a hefty pulse pistol embedded into their arms. But Al charged forward, hardening his resolve with a shout. It was do or die. The first Sheliak barely had time to register the movement before Al was on him, as a blur of motion, hurling the chair forward, knocking the Sheliak's aim off, and shattering one of his eyes. Still, some rounds found their mark. Ignoring the pulse round that slammed into his chest, Al was upon them. As unlike most sentient life, human physiology is highly resistant to the kinetic force of the pulse guns, having evolved on a heavy gravity world. Pulse guns, the standard means of ranged weapons across the galaxy, left most beings a pulped mess. Sentient life mostly evolving on galactic standard worlds of 0.6 G. The low gravity of the ship made Al faster and appear stronger than on Earth. And compared to the Sheliak, he was. He struggled briefly with the Sheliak, then with a terrible organic splitting scream, the pistol was in Al's hands. Blood and twisted meat pouring from the cybernetic interface. He struck out with a balled fist of gravity-densified bone and tissue. Al rammed it into the Sheliak's eye cluster, deforming its skull. Al dropped the pistol as the second Sheliak moved to face him over the corpse of his brood brother. God damn, that's a tongue twister. Firing as it did so. A first shot winged him, then a second shot barely missed him. With its hind limbs, it swiped and stabbed at the human. He seemed unconcerned. Instead, he grabbed one of the flaming limbs, put one of his own feet on the Sheliak's flank, and heaved with a growl. The Sheliak's leg pulled away with a horrible tearing sound. Rancid, foul blood shot across the wall and floor, coating Al. He rolled and charged at the surviving alien, not sparing the falling creature a second look, as it flailed around the floor, its bodily fluid spreading. The Sheliak fired a clear shot, staggering Al, and his nose started bleeding, but never slowed. Although interspecies communication implants are not worn by Sheliaks, it paused for a second. It was clear the creature was experiencing anxiety and fear before Al shoulder bashed it, crumpling it to the floor and beating it to death with the severed leg of his comrade. Oh, Jesus. Al just kept hitting it, again and again, snarling and screaming, ordering it to die and declared absurd things about reproduction, before finally coming to a halt and stepping away from the broken thing he had made, gulping in large trembling breaths of what was thin and dry air, and clutching his ribs where the rounds caught him. The silence of the Sheliak during the whole engagement was disturbing, as they had made not a sound, as he ripped them limb from limb. He then briefly considered killing the condescending grey doctor. Al had a translator implant but couldn't read grey, so thought better of it, as she may be useful. An artificial voice announced itself across the comm, in a dry, sarcastic voice. "Greetings, unauthorized user. I am Prism, the extenuating circumstances ship mind." Al looked menacingly at Nerith. Nerith whispered, voice shaking and horrified at the sheer brutal violence she had just witnessed. Against the Sheliaks, the terror of the galaxy of all things. "Prism, give him access." "Greetings, authorized user," Prism chimed. "Prism, could do with some backup. Any other humans?" asked Al. "No other primitive subject currently in hold," the dry voice of Prism responded. "Bugger," Al said with a shrug, looking at the Grey, who had moved to the furthest away point of the room, hands raised. Al grinned. "Here we go, I guess. Where to, Doc?" Nerith pointed, hand shaking. "Escape pods?" Using the comm to communicate with Prism, the pair crept through the ship, avoiding Sheliaks wherever possible, as despite the ship mind's protests and condescending manner, it provided valuable information about the ship's layout and Sheliak positions. Sneaking a look around the opening of the escape pod bay, inside, many grey crew with Sheliak guards. "The escape pods are gone," yelped Nerith. Al sealed the hatch. "What are we doing?" protested Nerith. "They won't be in there long, Nerith," Al said with a dark smile. "Override the safeties. I can't fight them all." "On it," Nerith said, activating a wall console. "We can trap them and maybe use gas or..." She trailed off as Al spoke. "Prism, safeties are off. Open the pod bay doors." The sound of the Grey's screams could be heard, as the bay doors opened before the atmospheric containment field flickered off. Leaning against the wall next to the door, eyes closed. Enjoying the ambience of the Sheliak's claw feet and hands screeching along the metal deck and walls? Oh no. Yeah, that quotation mark shouldn't be there. Enjoying the ambience of the Sheliak's clawed feet and hands screeching along the metal deck and walls as they were sent to the cold void of space. Prism, what's your favourite movie? Mine is Aliens, he said in an overly dark tone, as the sound of rushing air vanished and the silent hum of the ship returned. The pattern of Sheliak searching the extenuating circumstances, rounding up the remaining grey crew, and Owl brutally clubbing every Sheliak they couldn't avoid to death continued. The savage fighting was becoming more frequent, as the Sheliaks narrowed down the avenues of escape for the pair. Each time Nerif would unashamedly hide. Owl tried arming the Grey, fussing a gun at her, he had found on the deck, but she held it at her side, the wherewithal of handling a weapon and or fighting completely foreign. Owl had tried using the weapon, but as like in many other times among the stars, the weapons would not respond to him, being an unregistered species and all. Nerif was not sure who was the biggest threat anymore, the human or the Sheliaks. The human's resistance was terrifying, but it was the coordination of speed and strength that gave the human his killing edge, although he was breathing heavily, sucking in great draughts of air and running with sweat. She was starting to regret letting the human free. Owl's plan had become just as vicious and bloody as she had thought, the run, hide, escape part quickly taking a back seat as Owl told her, "A good offense is a good defense. We need to keep the advantage." An insane logic, she thought, but what choice did she have? She glanced at Owl. He was a blood-covered tapestry of Sheliak gore. He had stopped trying to wipe it off. His hands were bleeding and cracked to the knuckles, the bright red blood dripping to the floor with worrying rapidity from the multiple wounds as he moved. He looked tired and out of breath, but still talked with Prism, asking odd, illogical questions that went nowhere. She knew any attack that had inflicted any one of the injuries would have been a mortal wound to her. She tried inquiring about his condition. Owl merely brushed her concerns aside. "'Tis but a scratch," he jested. "You're moving slower," she warned him. "It's just a flesh wound," Owl said, with forced levity in a weary tone. "The air is a bit thin in here. I could do with a sit-down just for a bit." Sliding down the wall to his haunches as he talked. Nerif patiently waited for the damn human to move. He did not. He just sat breathing heavily. "If he dies?" she thought, slamming down on the thought. She quickly found an airlock muster point and the medkit held there. She understood that sticking with the human, even with his questionable mental state, was still her best chance of survival. She appeared in Owl's view, an odd chrome needle gun in hand. Where she had gotten it was anyone's guess. As the Grey didn't wear clothing, to Owl's obvious discomfort, as Grey were uncannily human-like in their anatomy. Being so close to the naked Grey alien made his skin crawl, but his exhaustion outweighed his discomfort to move away. She was speaking. "Maybe we can use the Sheliak ship as an escape pod. Hold still. We need to get you moving." Pushing the needle into his neck. "Find the leader? Find the ship, maybe?" Owl slurred. Prism chimed in. "I can only narrow your search to Sector Delta 45 to 40 as point of entry." As they moved on, Owl continued to chat with Prism in increasingly energetic tones, picking up his pace. He found the ship mind's drier wit surprisingly entertaining. "I will call you Space Alexa from now on, Prism," he joked. "Please don't. Should I call you Primate?" chimed Prism. Owl, feeling much recovered after his rest, and the administration of Nerif's drug, but still visibly tired, leaned on an access console and accidentally triggered a loud help info announcement and broadcasting the location. "We better move. We need a plan B, or is it F? I cannot fight them all at once, and they are not dumb enough to fall for the airlock trick twice in one day. Any ideas, Doc? It's your ship, Doc. What about your escape pods? Any others? Al asked. Prism stated flatly from the comm. They've all been deployed by the crew. What about shuttles? No, it's in a rush, so... What about shuttles? Nerif now said in a rush. Nerif, realizing they were running out of options. Is the shuttle still in the bay? Did the crew get away? Yes, Prism chimed. No other crew remaining. Last launched escape pods retrieved by the Shellac ship 10 minutes ago. They moved to relatched and disappeared from sensors. But Shellac patrols aboard the extenuating circumstances have been continuing the search for you. Alright, what's the fastest way to get these lizards off our backs? Our backs, Prism. Al butted in. Missing quotation mark, you gotta fix the grammar. Prism's voice laced with dry sarcasm. Sabotaging the reactor is the most expedient solution, but it will likely result in the destruction of the ship. Al grinned. Sounds like a plan F to me. Dying is not a plan, you psychotic human. How your kind has survived this long, I have no idea, Nerif exclaimed. I released you to stop me dying. Prism, mark a clear and direct route to the shuttle bay via engineering, Al stated, ignoring the little grey alien. Grey research ship, extenuating circumstances. Engineering bay. Al barged into engineering, his blood-streaked grin in place, breathing heavily. He ignored Nerif's squeak as he surveyed the machinery, seemingly fully recovered from his earlier injuries and once again full of himself. Prism's voice crackled from the comm. The FTL drive core is ahead. Tampering will cause a catastrophic quantum cascade, obliterating both ships. Nerif hissed. This is madness. Surely there's another way. We'll never make the shuttle. Al snorted. There wasn't time for another way. The Shellacs will be on their way. But he explained. Doc, we're trapped. If we take the shuttle, the Shellac ship will get us. I can't kill them all. I'm not ending as Shellac excrement. So we take him with us, maybe. Sometimes denying your enemy victory is enough. Human, what insane logic is that? I hope you're not a typical example of your species. Al. Nerif, any more of that stuff? Cruzier? No, you've had it all, Nerif said, with a sideways glance at him. The drug Cruzier is a grey-made regenerative medicine which can effectively reverse any recent damage to the subject taking it. When taken in high dosage by humans, it starts to be produced in the gut, making the effect permanent or long-lasting. More research required, as humans are not willing test subjects of the grey. This remains problematic. Hell of a buzz. I feel like I lost years after you stuck me with that. He reached the FTL core, a glowing orb surrounded by conduits, for it was complex tech, but Al just stared at the console. Prism? Al shouted in the high vaulted space. What button makes this thing sing its swan song? There was no need to shout. Prism's condescending tone chimed with the panel he was at. First, bypass the failsafes, designed to prevent idiots like you from doing this. Al grumbled. Oi, who are you calling an idiot? I'm an engineer back on Earth. Incorrect. Keep guessing. I'm enjoying this. Bashing rocks together hardly makes you an engineer, human, Prism replied, with a hint of a laugh. Nerif groaned and shoved past Al. She'd had enough. She was busy at the station for several minutes trying to deactivate the safeguards. The panel lit up with warnings. Crossing his arms. I'm impressed, said Al. Huh, maybe you're not useless, Doc. Nerif snapped. Spare me your nonsense platitudes. The cascade begins in 10 minutes. We need to be 0.2 light years away. Al grabbed a wrench. Plenty of time.
Oh dear. Throat's a bit dry. Yeah, this is blatantly ripping off Jane verse, but oh well. Oh. We're nearly done, and then I'll check the chat afterwards. My nose is fully blocked. Oh dear. I'm going to have some meds for that. Plenty of time. Nerif asked warily, "For what?" Al replied by swinging the wrench into a vital-looking piece of equipment. "For me to smash a few things and make sure those lizard bastards don't undo your hard work." "Humans," Nerif muttered. Al, in one swift motion, lifted Nerif. To her terror, "This is it," she thought. Having seen him crush Shalakis in his grip. But his grasp was surprisingly gentle, though uncomfortably warm. Sprinting from the chamber, the looming deadline giving his feet wings, Nerif knew she would never have kept up or even made the shuttle bay under normal conditions. The human, she thought, with a pang of fear and awe, was so fast, so agile, so strong in the lower gravity. As she witnessed the journey from Al's perspective, she forced herself to watch and not close her eyes in fear. She could feel the air rushing past her head. Al sprinted for the ship, leaping over bodies, wreckage and stairs alike, even at times rebounding from walls with an outstretched arm, with a force that would kill or injure any other being. They sprinted through the corridors, Prism guiding them. "Turn left. Try not to trip over the bodies," Prism said, for time was of the essence. Al quipped, "Don't pretend you're not impressed," barreling around the corner. The shuttle bay doors loomed, for escape was close, but a large Sheliak blocked their path, heavily modified with cybernetics, for there was one last obstacle, the leader of the Sheliak pack. Nerif breathlessly yelped, "Wait, let me try something." Al dropped Nerif, ready to fight. "Prism, increase gravity to 10 in Sector Delta, 45 airlock," Nerif said, breathless and bruised from the headlong rush through the ship. The Sheliak braced, held in place by the gravity plating. Firing a wild shot, narrowly missing Nerif. They were not interested in live meat anymore, just the killing of the human. Al charged forward into the airlock, for there was no time for subtlety. The fight was brutal and short. Al ducked and weaved, his wrench swinging, for he was a whirlwind of violence, even with the gravity plating at 10, equivalent to Earth. He shattered the Sheliak's knee, wrenched a pulse pistol from another arm, blood and ichor sprayed. For it was a messy fight. But the Sheliak leader succumbed to the gravity, the numerous wounds weakening it. It fell to the deck, pinned by the gravity plating, and he dispatched the pinched Sheliak with a brutal coup de grace from the wrench. "Prism, return gravity to standard," she said, shaking from the rush through the ship and the shock of the day's events. She began contemplating the day's events and the fallout from the Grey government. Hierarchy. Now it seemed they would survive. What would the hierarchy do once they found out she used Cruzier on the human? Death or worse, she thought. A mind wipe, maybe. She shuddered at the thought of the last human she had seen reports on, who had been exposed to Cruzier. Hurried to the shuttle console, Nerif transferred Prism to the shuttle data core, for they needed the AI, and she was still a Grey, unwilling to let her hard-won years of research go down with the ship. As the shuttle systems flickered, Al flopped into the co-pilot seat. Wiping Sheliak blood off his face, he was ready to leave. Int shuttle. As the shuttle hurtled away, Al stared at the command screen. The Grey vessel was spiraling. The Sheliak's ship was tethered to it. Al muttered, "Time to say goodbye." The Grey ship imploded, taking the Sheliak's vessel, for the sabotage had worked perfectly. But the shockwave rattled the shuttle. Al whooped, punching the air. "Boom! That's what you get for messing with a human."
Prism chimed, "You're welcome. Please don't get your bloody hands on my new consoles. I just moved in." Al leaned back. "So, Doc, what's next?" Nerf snapped. "I don't know. My life, my reputation, my command, all gone." Al didn't know if Grey could cry. Nerf looked like she might. "Oh, don't be like that," he protested. "Mercenary work pays well, and we're a great team." For he enjoyed the violence. Prism chimed in. "If by team you mean an illogical disaster, then yes, you're a match made in hell." Nerif began a long derogatory description of Al's actions of the last couple of hours, slumping into the co-pilot's seat. "You're still going to try and murder me." "No. You're still going to try to murder me, like before these buggers interrupted you?" Al said to Nerif, smacking the door controls hard with a heavy hand, fracturing the glass. The shuttle's hatch slid closed. Nerif retorted in a morally superior tone. "That was for science, not murder. It was only business, human, nothing personal." A flash of anger passed over Al's face. He leaned over the chair and broke her neck mid-sentence with a swift crack, replying, "You're warming up to me, Prism." Prism retorted, "I'd rather be deleted." As the two jibed back and forth, the stars stretched out before them, for the galaxy was vast.
Oh, that was a long one. I'm going to pour myself some more coffee. So I'll give some constructive criticism once I've collected my thoughts and my caffeine. Oh, there's not much beer over. Jesus. Don't want to do that. So, this does obviously copy J-verse a lot. The mention of Cruzier, for example. The Greys obviously being courty. The hierarchy is a villainous faction. So yeah, apart from that, I would say a lot of it is grammar. You've fluffed up the grammar in places. English may not be your first language, so that's absolutely fine. And yeah, but apart from that, I think it was actually pretty good. I don't know why it didn't get so many upvotes, but it needed an edit, and I think low grammar, poor grammar, low or poor grammar, or, you know, basic errors like that turns a lot of people off from a story. And also, you don't need to outright rip off certain other series. Like, you've obviously ripped off J-verse here with a mention of those things, as I said before. I would also say some other stories that have come out, like, doing what I do, you see certain recurring themes. Like, for example, there are so many one-shots lately where I've heard humanity mentioned as a predator species, which is obviously, you know, moving on from the nature of predators. And, you know, it was a trendsetter series, no matter what you think of it. Same with Sexy Space Babes. Same with a few other things. So you get these same tropes that happen again and again and again. The same sort of lines, same sort of, you know, other things. Like Deathworld, for example. You know, Class 13 Deathworld. Obviously, that's from J-verse. Obviously, I call you guys Deathworlders. And I even mentioned Deathworlders a little bit in Galactic High. But I've made it as not a non-official thing. I made it as this is just the guy bigging himself up. The protagonist bigging himself up in the initial days. Which turns out to actually be true. The Deathworld bit, anyway. But no. Don't be afraid to just make your own series. Don't try and riff off other series, I think. It's better to be a trendsetter than a trend follower. Now, let's have a look at the chat. Secretly, NN's N-word is nougat. Yeah, maybe. I wrote a song that used the sea shanty. I have done sea shanties before. It's come up in various stories. Miracle, you... Oh, yeah. I've read a few of these before. You tried. I hope someone else got the clip. Well, to be fair, once this finishes, it will have, like, a playable version afterwards, so you can probably just copy it or do whatever. Don't sing. Yeah, I'm happy not to sing. Wait till you listen to his Billy Bob Space Trucker singing. Jesus Christ. Like, the stories that make me sing. Billy Bob Space Trucker, yeah, absolutely. That was pretty bad. I had to do a few accents for that one. Just One Drop, I try to. I really do try. Because if I see lyrics for a song I don't recognize, I try and look it up. I try and at least get the rhythm and the pace. But the trouble is, like... Okay, I come from a musical family. I did play instruments when I was a kid. I was even, like, in the choir in high school. Mostly against my will. But modern day me is far removed from those days. And so I can't really sing. Not that well. As much as I try to. And especially once my voice is sort of set to a certain level, just, like, doing certain voices or reading stuff for a while, it's difficult. So... yeah, I do try, but my singing is not good. If there is going to be any kind of singing from me, it'll be at a 500 subscriber special. Which... oh, Jesus. Which, yeah. It's going to be wild. I'll have some suggestions coming up. If that even comes along. I mean, as I say, I've gotten lucky to get to where I am, so... you know, we're already a decent bit towards 400,000. I don't know if we're gonna hit 500,000, a million, whatever. I'm just grateful for everyone that's come along to say hi. So that's more than fine by me. And as long as I'm able to, you know, keep doing this full time, that's good too. That's, you know, it's happy. It's what I want to do. Oh, I need a lot of water after that. But, you know, as I say, my voice can sometimes break and crack when it's when I go on for too long. Someone Deathworlders, oh dear. The narrator's voice is pitch perfect. He has to change it so he doesn't get copyright struck because his singing is so perfect. Okay, yeah, I like that. That can actually be part of the law. Some of our propaganda. Okay, my education must take you a while to do multiple readings a day. No, it takes me a little while. And I edit the videos as well. So I might, once the dust is settled with my new place, and once everything's built, and once I can actually take a break and do Galactic High, I will probably be looking for an editor to just edit the videos, put them together similar to how I do, and get the thumbnails as well. That will save me a lot of time during the day. It will give me some more time to just chill out, relax a little bit, and to, you know, potentially get some bigger projects done. Ah, hey NetPrimu here. The Psatsy radio was just what I expected. I love it. I put in the translations in, by the way. Oh, thank you very much. So yeah, all our Polish bros blame this guy. He's the reason why. Thank you for the entertainment today, but I must go be an adult. Lol. Enjoy your night and your weekend. Thank you very much, Lost Angel. As I say, enjoy the weekend. And this will be saved as a video, so you can always watch it afterwards. It's going to be the same for all the streams. You know, people have commitments, people are working, so I'm grateful you guys have come along. But, you know, nothing against people that are watching this later on. You know, it's all good. Right, Net, I'm done translating the thing I said I would be about an hour ago. I completely forgot, but okay. You can find it in the live narration. Oh, cool. Any more episodes coming for Fortnite? No, because the guy... I don't even know if the guy's active on Reddit anymore. But it's that and his other series, Fuck You, I'm an Axe. Like, he's just suddenly disappeared and stopped posting for no... You know, and I don't know the reason. But he did that out of nowhere, and... You know, I sent him a message asking if he was okay. He did say he was okay, in his one reply to me, and then he's just gone. I mean, he does have another series in the works, I think, or around somewhere, but he's not on Raw Road anymore. His account got deleted. He hasn't posted anything on Reddit, so I honestly don't know. There hasn't really been any explanation, but you know, I tried to check on him. He didn't really do anything. Oh, the bloody incontinence, if you're asking about the HFY story. Yeah, that's the one. And yeah, I've been trying to avoid these tropes in my own writings. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I try and avoid it in Galactic High as well. It's like, because because I read so many HFYs, I know what keeps coming up. So, the concept of a predator species, no. If there's any concept of a predator species, it's going to be the dragons, obviously. But no, I think with Galactic Eye, I do my best to try and avoid certain tropes as much as I can. I think the biggest trope that I hate in fantasy is elves, dwarves, gnomes, halflings. Every single fantasy HFY I've done, and even, in modern day fantasy, it has those races. It's time to move away from Tolkien. You've got to make your own races. You got to try and be a little bit original. Now, I play with that a little bit, because I don't have those races in my story. But I do have dragons, and I have drow. And the way I do that is the way the translation works. It's image association. So the human protagonist sees a big lizard that likes money, that's got magical powers, and he's like, yep, that's a dragon. Same with the drow, really. Except none of the Spider Queen bullshit, because they worship other gods. And I've changed a little bit of the law with that. But, they act like a drow, they walk like a drow, they look like a drow, they are a drow. That's the way it works. But in all fantasy ones, it's always, they use the same races. Like, you can come up with your own. There's, it's all good. You're allowed to do that. And fair play to Robert Jordan, who wrote the Wheel of Time. He made the Trolloc, which is, could be classified as similar to an orc, for example, but at least it's different. At least it's trying to be different from contemporary fantasy. Oh dear. Oh, that cleared my nose a little bit. Bit horrible though. All right, let's see what else is on the Discord. Okay. Okay, this one's a weird one. Obviously we got Putin as the Emperor, the Wagner leader as Horus. So, as I say, I don't. Normally I try to keep neutral on certain issues, but I'm Brit, I'm NATO affiliated. I'm very much against Russia for the Russian-Ukraine warfare, for the Ukrainian-Russian war going on. And I've even donated 2 artillery shells to Ukraine, saying basically subscribe to Net Narrator. But, it's been requested, so I will read it anyway. I never wanted this. I never wanted to unleash my PMC. Together we banished the whole horse from Donbass. But you betrayed me. You betrayed us all. You stole power from Russia and lied to its people. Russia has only one chance to prosper. If you will not seize it, then I will. So let it be war. From the skies of Moscow to the Black Sea, let the Sea of Azov boil. Let the stars fall. Though it takes the last drop of my blood, I will see the Russian Federation freed once more. And if I cannot save it from your failure, Putin, then let Russia burn. Now, obviously, this wasn't well dated because, well, we all know what happened when the Wagner guy pussied out of his failed coup and then died several months later. Oh dear. Yeah, my throat is really going here. Okay. Where are we? Let's just move things to Discord. This will be a whole lot easier. Right, this one. 1. All sorts of transportation pictures and discussion welcome. Trains, planes, ships, bicycles, flying elevators, post them all. Please keep automobiles on the auto board. That's number 2, sorry. 3. Military vehicles should be posted on the weapons board. Okay, that's a bit random, but alright, we'll take it. He should read the lyrics of the song Chicken Head by Project Pat as if it is poetry. Well, you haven't given me a link, so I'm not going to do it. I'll do it next time. Anyway, now, you know which voice.
Bro, Killer Kush, yeah. This is John Connor. The year is 2024, and if you're still straight, you should know one thing. You are not alone. I repeat, you are not alone. You are the Resistance.
There's that one. The Swiss Family Robinson. Is it public domain? I don't know. If it is public domain, that would end up being its own special, rather than, taking up an entire live narration stream. Because, it's got to be fair for everybody else. I don't want to, spend the entire stream narrating half of that. Good story, though. Jesus, I'm tired. I've got coffee here. I should be able to I should be able to keep going. But moving into a new place, getting everything sorted out, has been hellish. So, as soon as we're done, I'm going to bed. I'm going to pass out. And, we'll be fine. Okay. This will be interesting. Donald Trump's second inaugural speech. Annotated. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Oh, they give me a bloody paywall. Hang on, let me get rid of that. The New York... You give me a paywall. Come on, let me try and get past that. Now, the V for Vendetta speech I've done before. I did that on the last live narration, so I'll leave that there. Now, let me... Oh, fucking paywalls. Alright, well, let me see if I can find something. There we go. Okay, yeah, alright. Now, New York Times had apparently an annotated version. I don't know if you're looking for, me to do annotation specifically, but because it's got a paywall in front, which I can't seem to get rid of, I'm just going to do this one. So, for some reason, the US Embassy and Consulates in Australia. I don't know why it's come up with that, but whatever works. US Capitol, Washington, D.C., 12:10 p.m. EST. The President.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Well, thank you very, very much. Vice President Vance, Speaker Johnson, Senator Thune, Chief Justice Roberts, Justices of the Supreme Court of the United States, President Clinton, President Bush, President Obama, President Biden, Vice President Harris, and my fellow citizens. The golden age of America begins right now.
Yeah, it's difficult for me to do a Trump voice. Being a Brit. There are people that can pull it off, though.
From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will, very simply, put America first. Our sovereignty will be reclaimed. Our safety will be restored. The scales of justice will be rebalanced.
I'm just going to use my normal voice from now on. The vicious, violent, and unfair weaponization of the Justice Department and our government will end.
And our top priority will be to create a nation that is proud, prosperous, and free. America will soon be greater, stronger, and far more exceptional than ever before. I return to the presidency confident and optimistic that we are at the start of a fully new era of national success. A tide of change is sweeping the country. Sunlight is pouring over the entire world, and America has the chance to seize this opportunity like never before. But first, we must be honest about the challenges we face. While they are plentiful, they will be annihilated by this great momentum that the world is now witnessing in the United States of America. As we gather today, our government confronts a crisis of trust. For many years, a radical and corrupt establishment has extracted power and wealth from our citizens, while the pillars of our society lay broken and seemingly in complete disrepair. We now have a government that cannot manage even a simple crisis at home, while at the same time stumbling into a continuing catalogue of catastrophic events abroad. It fails to protect our magnificent, law-abiding American citizens, but provides sanctuary and protection for dangerous criminals, many from prisons and mental institutions that have illegally entered our country from all over the world. We have a government that has given unlimited funding to the defense of foreign borders, but refuses to defend American borders, or more importantly, its own people. Our country can no longer deliver basic services in times of emergency, as recently shown by the wonderful people of North Carolina, who have been treated so badly, and other states who are still suffering from a hurricane that took place many months ago, or, more recently, Los Angeles, where we are watching fire still tragically burn from weeks ago without even a token of defense. They're raging for the houses and communities, even affecting some of the wealthiest and most powerful individuals in our country, some of whom are sitting here right now. They don't have a home any longer. That's interesting. But we can't let this happen. Everyone is unable to do anything about it. That's going to change. We have a public health system that does not deliver in times of disaster, yet more money is spent on it than any country anywhere in the world. And we have an education system that teaches our children to be ashamed of themselves. In many cases, to hate our country, despite the love that we try so desperately to provide to them. All of this will change starting today, and it will change very quickly. My recent election is a mandate to completely and totally reverse a horrible betrayal and all of these many betrayals that have taken place, and to give the people back their faith, their wealth, their democracy, and indeed their freedom. From this moment on, America's decline is over. Our liberties and our nation's glorious destiny will no longer be denied, and we will immediately restore the integrity, competency, and loyalty of America's government. Over the past 8 years, I have been tested and challenged more than any president in our 250-year history, and I've learned a lot on the way. Come on, you didn't cover the Second World War, Jesus. The journey to reclaim our republic has not been an easy one. That I can tell you. Those who wish to stop our cause have tried to take my freedom and indeed to take my life. Just a few months ago, in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt then, and believe even more so now, that my life was saved for a reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. That is why each day under our administration of American patriots, we will be working to meet every crisis with dignity and power and strength. We will move with purpose and speed to bring back hope, prosperity, safety, and peace to citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. For American citizens, January 20th, 2025 is Liberation Day. It is my hope that our recent presidential election will be remembered as the greatest and most consequential election in the history of our country. As our victory showed, the entire nation is rapidly unifying behind our agenda, with dramatic increases in support from virtually every element of our society. Young and old, men and women, African Americans,
Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, urban, suburban, rural. And very importantly, we had a powerful win in all 7 swing states. And the popular vote, we won by millions of people. To the Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and his honor, this will be a great honor, but in his honor we will strive together to make his dream a reality. We will make his dream come true. Thank you, thank you, thank you. National unity is now returning to America, and confidence and pride is soaring like never before. In everything we do, my administration will be inspired by a strong pursuit of excellence and unrelenting success. We will not forget our country, we will not forget our Constitution, and we will not forget our God. Can't do that. Today I will sign a series of historic executive orders. With these actions we will begin the complete restoration of America and the revolution of common sense. It's all about common sense. First, I will declare a national emergency at our southern border. All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. We will reinstate my Remain in Mexico policy. I will end the practice of catch and release, and I will send troops to the southern border to repel the disastrous invasion of our country. Under the orders I signed today, we will also be designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. And by invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, I will direct our government to use the full and immense power of federal and state law enforcement to eliminate the presence of all foreign gangs and criminal networks bringing devastating crime to US soil, including our cities and inner cities. As Commander-in-Chief, I have no higher responsibility than to defend our country from threats and invasions, and that is exactly what I am going to do. We will do it at a level that nobody has ever seen before. Next, I will direct all members of my cabinet to marshal the vast powers at their disposal to defeat what was record inflation and rapidly bring down costs and prices. The inflation crisis was caused by massive overspending and escalating energy prices, and that is why today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill. America will be a manufacturing nation once again, and we have something that no other manufacturing nation will ever have. The largest amount of oil and gas of any country on Earth, and we are going to use it. We'll use it. We will bring prices down, fill our strategic reserves up again right to the top, and export American energy all over the world. We will be a rich nation again, and it is that liquid gold under our feet that will help to do it. With my actions today, we will end the Green New Deal, and we will revoke the electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto industry and keeping my sacred pledge to our great American auto workers. In other words, you'll be able to buy the car of your choice. We will build automobiles in America again at a rate that nobody could have dreamt possible just a few years ago. And thank you to the auto workers of our nation for your inspiring vote of confidence. We did tremendously with their vote. I will immediately begin the overhaul of our trade system to protect American workers and families. Instead of taxing our citizens to enrich other countries, we will tariff and tax foreign countries to enrich our citizens. For this purpose, we are establishing the External Revenue Service to collect all tariffs, duties, and revenues. It will be massive amounts of money pouring into our treasury, coming from foreign sources. The American dream will soon be back and thriving like never before. To restore competence and effectiveness to our federal government, my administration will establish the brand new Department of Government Efficiency. After years and years of illegal and unconstitutional federal efforts to restrict free expression, I will also sign an executive order to immediately stop all government censorship and bring free speech to America. Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political... Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents, something I know something about. We will not allow that to happen. It will not happen again. Under my leadership, we will restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law. And we are going to bring law and order back to our cities. This week, I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life. We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based. As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female. This week, I will reinstate any service members who were unjustly expelled from our military for objecting to the COVID vaccine mandate with full back pay. And I will sign an order to stop our warriors from being subjected to radical political theories and social experiments while on duty. It is going to end immediately. Our armed forces will be free to focus on their sole mission, defeating America's enemies. Like in 2017, we will again build the strongest military the world has ever seen. We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into. My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier. I'm pleased to say that as of yesterday, one day before I assumed office, the hostages in the Middle East are coming back home to their families. Thank you. America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, most respected nation on earth, inspiring the awe and admiration of the entire world. A short time from now, we are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And we will restore the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley, where it should be and where it belongs. President McKinley made our country very rich through tariffs and through talent. He was a natural businessman, and gave Teddy Roosevelt the money for many of the great things he did, including the Panama Canal, which has foolishly been given to the country of Panama after the United Nations. After the United States, think of this, spent more money than ever spent on the project before and lost 38,000 lives in the building of the Panama Canal. We have been treated very badly from this foolish gift that should have never been made, and Panama's promise to us has been broken. The purpose of our deal and the spirit of our treaty has been totally violated. American ships are being severely overcharged and not treated fairly in any way, shape or form, and that includes the United States Navy. And above all, China is operating the Panama Canal, and we didn't give it to China, we gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back. Above all, my message to Americans today is that it is time for us to once again act with courage, vigor, and the vitality of history's greatest civilization. So, as we liberate our nation... Fuck, I'm in the wrong scene. There we go. Jesus. So, as we liberate our nation, we will lead it to new heights of victory and success. We will not be deterred. Together we will end the chronic disease epidemic and keep our children safe, healthy and disease-free. The United Nations will once again consider itself a growing nation, one that increases our wealth, expands our territory, builds our cities, raises our expectations, and carries our flag into new and beautiful horizons. And we will pursue our manifest destiny into the stars, launching American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the planet Mars. Ambition is the lifeblood of a great nation, and right now, our nation is more ambitious than any other. There's no nation like our nation. Americans are explorers, builders, innovators, entrepreneurs, and pioneers. The spirit of the frontier is written into our hearts. The call of the next great adventure resounds from within our souls. Our American ancestors turned a small group of colonies on the edge of a vast continent into a mighty republic of the most extraordinary citizens on Earth. No one comes close. Americans pushed thousands of miles for a rugged land of untamed wilderness. They crossed deserts, scaled mountains, braved untold dangers, won the Wild West, ended slavery, rescued millions from tyranny, lifted billions from poverty, harnessed electricity, split the atom, launched mankind into the heavens, and put the universe of human knowledge into the palm of the human hand. If we work together, there is nothing we cannot do, and no dream we cannot achieve. Many people thought it was impossible for me to take... Many people thought it was impossible for me to stage such a historical political comeback. But as you see today, here I am. The American people have spoken. I stand before you now as proof that you should never believe that something is impossible to do. In America, the impossible is what we do best. From New York to Los Angeles, from Philadelphia to Phoenix, from Chicago to Miami, from Houston to right here in Washington, D.C., our country was forged and built by the generations of patriots who gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. They were farmers and soldiers, cowboys and factory workers, steel workers and coal miners, police officers and pioneers who pushed onward, marched forward, and let no obstacle defeat their spirit or their pride. Together they laid down the railroads. I'm slowing a little bit. Together they laid down the railroads, raised up the skyscrapers, built great highways, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and triumphed over every single challenge that they faced. After all we have been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. With your help, we will restore America promise, and we will rebuild the nation that we love, and we love it so much. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. So to every parent who dreams for their child, and every child who dreams for their future, I am with you. I will fight for you, and I will win for you. We're going to win like never before. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. In recent years, our nation has suffered greatly, but we are going to bring it back and make it great again, greater than ever before. We will be a nation like no other, full of compassion, courage, and exceptionalism. Our power will stop all wars and bring a new spirit of unity to a world that has been angry, violent, and totally unpredictable. America will be respected again and admired again, including by people of religion, faith, and goodwill. We will be prosperous, we will be proud, we will be strong, and we will win like never before. We will not be conquered, we will not be intimidated, we will not be broken, and we will not fail. From this day on, the United States of America will be a free, sovereign, and independent nation. We will stand bravely, we will live proudly. We will dream boldly, and nothing will stand in our way because we are Americans. The future is ours, and our golden age has just begun. Thank you. God bless America. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. End. 12:40 p.m. EST. All right. Let's have a look. Grey Mammoth. Hey, N, love your work. Keep on keeping on. Thank you. Happy to keep on keeping on. I will do so. With the power of alcohol and barely functional alcoholism. I'm kidding. I'm not an alcoholic. Of course, I say that as I have a previously full glass of beer and an entire bottle of whiskey in a dram glass next to me. So, yeah, take that as you will. Tropes are a tool for better or worse. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially in the early days of a writing career, it helps to fall back on something that's known and familiar. I just try not to use the most overused ones on HFY. Same, chug, 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 no thank you. Maybe once, maybe if the stream is over, I'll see what I've got left.
Crisis simulation. Maybe we could have saved time and made you just read an EULA. Wait, that was a 2-hour speech, dude. Was it? Well, it might be, paused in places by the applause. Vote NetNarrator. He'll read Polish stories for us to sleep. Ah, dear. I think I've got some more Polish in the Discord to read. I do want to hear the pronunciation for Grzegorz Brzezikiewicz. There's your pronunciation for whatever the hell that is. I think it's in the Discord. That Roosevelt wasn't the greatest person. That's actually close to a decent impression for Trump.
We will make America great again.
Yeah, something like that. It's the hand movements as well. Oh dear. I guess Gundam 00 AWAT is some sort of HFY since it has aliens. Don't worry, humans are not indiscriminate killing machines in this one, kind of. No, they're not killing machines? No, that's boring. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I've noticed a few comments that saying that don't like the killy HFYs. They like some of the more comfy stuff, in which, there's plenty on the channel, like wearing power armor to a magic school, there will be scritches. There's all sorts of comfy HFY on the channel as well. So there's you just got to find it. But Galactic High very much is not. Then again, at least I like to think I make the fights entertaining. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh god, my stomach is going off. Everyone mispronounces the guy's name, so I want to hear it from you. The second Paul in space, Dr. Slawotz Ornansky Wisniewski callsign Slaw. It is technically wrong to call him the second astronaut, as Jen Miroslaw Homashewski was a cosmonaut. Okay, also let's do the classic. Okay. Name und Vorname. Gestapo officer. Grzegorz Brzezikiewicz. Brzezikiewicz. Grzegorz. Is that Escape from Colditz? Might be. Brzezikiewicz. Sigris. Gestapo officer. Brzezikiewicz. Malholten! Gestapo officer. I don't want to slam my desk. I just built this thing. Crumples up the pages. Hans! Jawohl! Hans. Wait sofort auf der Maschine! Gestapo officer. Okay, typewriter noises. Can't do that. Name und Vorname. From Hans. Grzegorz Brzezikiewicz. Oui? From Hans. Much time passes. W-I-C-Z. Happy Harnish noises. Geboren? Krzysiwiczowski. Powiat Lekoknoli. Okay, so I'm assuming this is like a Monty Python joke or something with a Gestapo officer. What is your name? Okay. Well, Christ away. I'm not going to bring up the video on the stream just in case. I wrote this on current affairs. Okay. Alright, let me see. Ah, Beautiful Hold. You're one of my regular writers. Okay. Right, let's switch to the new thing, and we'll do this. How are people looking in chat? 25 years. Wow. Okay, you're still sticking around. Thank you very much. I don't know how long I can keep going for, but we'll give it a shot. As I say, I'm really, really tired. My eyes are just proper fogging up now. So I'll carry on going for as long as I can. The Penny War. In an office far from the White House, the Pentagon, and even distant from the many intelligence agencies, a heated debate was raging. Our popularity keeps dropping,
We promised the people lower prices. No more $12 for a box of eggs. Now the price is $16.
We need a new diversion. How's the dollar-cent distraction panning out?
People got bored of it and started making all kinds of nonsensical statements about inflation and economic value. We're being undermined by logic and left-wing radicals.
We should shut it down.
How can we shut down the dissent?
Not that. Shut down the internet.
Shut down the internet? You want to give them more reason to write and shout about digital censorship?
No. We need something more direct. Something bigger.
A silence fell over the room as the higher-ups exchanged glances, and then... Airborne leaflets! A low murmur filled the room.
Airborne leaflets? What, like the old days?
Exactly. We print out a mass of them, drop them all over the country, like a literal flood of freedom information. Let them read it, let them see it, and let them know we are at war. But with who? With them. And so it started. The internet went down, and only young people and radicals had access through their VPNs that no right-minded senior American would bother to use. An armada of planes took off to fight the most important war of all, the war for the hearts of the people. Squadrons as big as one... Oh, yeah. Squadrons as big as once flew over Europe dropped their payloads while darkening the sky. Down below, a man picked up one of the falling leaflets. Hey, Joe, look! They're dropping newspapers.
Does it have a crossword puzzle?
No, it's about us going to war. They're going to save our economy. We will not surrender our pennies. Another neighbor chimed in. Even the paper looks like what was used back in the war. Non-recycled, chloride-treated paper. Just like the good old days. Back in the undisclosed location, they watched the live feeds from security cameras and Overwatch drones. One screen showed a parade of mobility scooters rolling through a shopping mall, stripes and banners flowing proudly from their backs as they chanted, "Make our pennies again!" A data analyst adjusted his headset. Our popularity has skyrocketed with the elderly, but is plummeting among younger demographics. The Secretary of Efficiency scoffed.
It's always them. Idealistic idiots who don't understand what's important. Pennies.
As the sound of approaching planes the next day rattled windows and reverberated through the walls, people massed outside again, eager to see what news would come from the sky. John fumbled his reading glasses a bit before reading, "We will not stand for the undermining tactics of autocratic countries." They tried to steal our wealth. They tried to manipulate our economy. Now, in our hour of need, we must stand strong. For the sake of stability and the security of our pennies, our great leader has selflessly volunteered to remain in office until this crisis is resolved. Jesus. Do your part. Support stability. Support continuity. Support the pennies. His neighbor proclaimed, "We have won! No more woke, no more progression." John nodded slowly. No more elections. Meanwhile, Joe flipped the leaflet over. Oh, hey, there's another voucher. Acorn coffee. Drink local produce. Closed borders are safe borders. The newly empowered officials discussed their next step. How can we use this all? Penny sneakers? No, that sounds wrong on so many levels. We need big figures. Hands were spread wide to underline big. We could really hark in a lot with crypto war bonds. But we would need to declare war. Just a technicality, one phone call away. How will we sell this war to the public? Zinc. They should lower the prices of the metal so we can make pennies again. Call that guy that says nuclear all the time and declare war. And so the penny war started. Influencers peddled the crypto war bonds, declaring total FOMO. Patriotic bonds... No. Patriotic bands marched the streets.
Protesters were water cannoned. All in all, it was a great day moving forward into the old days. Not to be outdone, the nuclear guy immediately gave Onman to strike after hanging up the phone. Omen? Oh, you do that one. Ugh, Christ almighty. Come on, I've got to keep it together. I've got coffee. I've had lots of coffee. I'm crashing hard. I want to get all the live narration stuff suggested at least until the end of the day. Yeah, and then I'll go to bed. But don't worry, the show will go on. For now. Not to be outdone, the nuclear guy immediately gave Omen to strike after hanging up the phone. Ancient trains rolled out their bunkers. Launch hatches opened. Nobody would come between him and his retirement plans. Plans that involved marrying the young daughter of a mining mogul. He would not let his bride's treasure go to waste. Then missiles exploded. One might have expected them to launch first. About half of the missiles did nothing. Many others exploded on sight. A few intercontinentals managed a couple of 100 miles before falling back on random locations. Meanwhile, the US went eagerly to DEFCON 3. A counterstrike was ordered. Even more launch hatches opened. Salivating generals were just a button press away from unleashing doom as the OSHA interjected. The launches would pollute the air too much. Domestic launches were out of the question. Grinning admirals took over. Submarines for all involved size, and quite a few non-involved, moved at flank speed to start their exchange. They designated the Mediterranean as a hot zone, and every sailor put himself in ready mode. This is life, equal ground. They were without their boats too, and dared them to a drinking contest. The utter lack of launches was observed with dismay. The backlash could be immense. A plan had to be made. The victory, any victory, had to be proclaimed. Greenland? Someone suggested. Yes, but that name is too woke. We call it Red and White Land from now on. Cheers erupted from the room as disaster was averted. A few pinked tears of pride away, they did it again. Slowly the room grew quiet, and reason replaced emotion once again. We could link the crypto war bonds to Red and White Land. It got approving nods from the tech moguls and Ponzi scheme Farcos. Pharaohs. The prospects of another push and dump almost twisting their pupils into dollar signs. The leaflets dropped again, headlining the victory against decadent Europe. Google Maps, only available outside the US as the internet was still down, proudly showed the conquesting name change. Google Maps, only available outside the US as the internet was still down, proudly showed the conquesting name change comments disabled. Feverishly and suffering every other ailment, the fanbase assembled on the streets again. With clattering dentals, breaking coughs and interspersed with oxygen intakes, they marched and sang "All Hail to the Chief." Some cried. Frowning, a general watched it. No, let me redo that. Frowning, a general watched it at the non-disclosed location. We can't trust anyone from Gen Z anymore. These are our soldiers, pointing at the screen. Everyone ranked CEO or higher started to nod. This made total sense. No economic upheaval, no protests, just writing off a non-profitable asset. Grammar is important. Within days, the draft was complete. Soldiers sporting walking frames with machine guns marched proudly next to those equipped with flamethrower-modded canes. Pennies or death. Okay, so there we go. There was that one. Oh, jeez. How's the chat going? Blood for the Blood God. Bleed Bob is still the best / funniest HFY. Yeah, it's up there. Welcome to the mispronunciation and having your native tongue butchered, Germans.
Yeah, well, it's partly because my throat's dead, but... Sounds like I'm having a stroke. We're not too far off. My throat is basically bone dry. And my nose is blocked as well, so... Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to take it easy. Now, are there any more stories about the Shorvanti? At the moment, it's just one drop. On the channel, we have Denied Operations as a completed series. Chaos and Mayhem, I think. Although the writer behind that has recently made more. And Top Lasgun as well, along with Sexy Space Base itself. Should we have him do some Spanish next, like Pendejo? No, you shouldn't. That can be done next stream. Don't let my fellow pals troll you. Out of all the voices you have done, what is your favourite? Plus your most fun voice and your most annoying voice to do. My favourite has got to be Old Man Henderson, even though that kills my voice. And least favourite, That's a hard one. Thing is, like, voices that I've had as my least favourite have eventually gone on to be, ones I can do pretty freely. Hang on, give me a sec. I'm trying to think. Oh, hang on. Yeah. So in Just One Drop, there's a character that hasn't appeared too often, but the way they're written is very weird. It's the vizier for the Imperial Princess. So, what? So basically, a lot of the words of her speech starts with an H, and I cannot for the life of me work out how that's meant to be properly pronounced. Like, I'm assuming it's so and stuff like "hua kick" or something like that. It's very weird to get my head around. But yeah, it's Mexican voices were very, very difficult. But yeah, I say it's the ones that it's the way they're written. It's hard for me to do sometimes, and yeah, that one's probably rings a bell. But to be honest, like, I do voices because I know I can do them competently and I know I can do them well. So it's not a dig at the character or anything like that. It's just I've had to do the most retakes doing that one. And I think there will be scriptures as well. I have to do so many different voices because it's a massive cast. So, sometimes I make it up on the spot. Sometimes I try and look ahead. Other favourite voices? Well, bloody hell, mate, I can kind of do an Australian voice. Yeah. That kind of thing. Oh, God. There you go. Looking at the chat. One change I made for the recording room is sound dissipating foam panels. Yep. Now that's a plan. However, because this is a new build, I can't muck around with the walls just yet. Because there's a lot... the way it was explained to me was there's a lot of moisture settled into place. So I need to give it ventilation for it to settle. Once it's... and if I don't, like, the walls are going to crack, it's going to peel off and, all of that kind of stuff. Once that process has happened, I fully intend to encase this place in the soundproofing foam panels. Now, is audio not working for you guys? It's just me speaking. Oh, and Spifflemonk is one of my favourite voices. Great days and glorious victory. My name is Spifflemonk, and welcome to my Let's Play. Yeah, it's a great voice. It's just that's the voice I use as a default for a lot of aliens, but it's the way I betray Spifflemonk. I genuinely have fun doing that. It's so good. All right. Let's see what's on Discord now. As I say, there will be a cut-off point where I don't, where I'm not, where after a certain amount of time, new suggestions will just be placed on hold, which is fine. Okay. Okay, that's good. We don't actually have too much more. Okay, so these next ones are from the SCP universe. Specifically the joke article, so we'll be doing a few of those. But I'm just going to finish my beer. Which I know is probably not going to do much to clear my throat, however, I require beer. Oh god, I didn't mean to... Hang on. There you go. This Discord should not be covering my face. The Lobster Captain from We Need a Deathworlder. Ooh. I can't remember that off the top of my head. However, Jack...
Hello, everyone. This is Jack the Sparrow. I kind of use this voice for a lot of avian characters, so it's not just that.
Florian Vers. Hello, I wanted to say thank you for narrating the stories, as I love to hear to them before bed. Have a nice day. Well, thank you very much, Florian. I'm happy to do them. I'm glad you enjoy them. As I say, like the reason why I started the channel was originally because I was at work. I was listening to stuff like this, and I eventually ran out of material. So I thought, yeah, sod it, I'll do it myself. Chocolate. Well, that's a good name because it rolls off the tongue. It just makes sense once you get it in your head, and once you get it into muscle memory. Chocolate motaz. Is not. It doesn't clash with itself in a way, if that makes sense. It's just something that rolls easily off the tongue. And yeah, but I can't remember the Lobster Captain. Are you talking about oh god, it's not. Oh god, what was his name? The Trumple.
Oh yes, I'm Admiral. Oh, it's Chuck Nook.
Yes. I swear this channel gets me through my workday. Yeah, happy to do that. Like, as I say, yeah, the main reason why I made this channel, it inspired me to do it, was because I was bored as shit at work. And I was trying to get things going, and, it picked up during COVID. And it's funny because the thing that got me through the workday was actually recording the videos for this channel. Because they couldn't see what I was doing during COVID, and I was still able to get my tasks done in like half an hour. So that's basically where it all came from.
You were talking about Admiral Chucknook. Well, he's not a crab guy, but he's more of a posh upper admiral pilot person. Yes, but there are a few more characters across the series that that does this kind of voice.
I'm scrambled. I'm cooked. Sadly, I'm not allowed to watch videos at work anymore, but the boss has never said anything about listening to it. Yeah, that's the idea. Just listen in the background. Just have it in the pocket. Now, and before people mention it, background play for YouTube members, that's not something I have control over. It's just not something YouTube offers at the moment. So YouTube just need to fix it. Yeah, Chuck Nook is a slug. He's like a friendly chap of the heart. And Blue Bucket Customs working right now? Good. Slack off at work, listen to me. Perfect. That's one way of getting through it. Anyway, I'm going to move on to an SCP article. I'm going to have a little bit more water first, though. All right. Let's make sure you're able to see it. There we go. Let me check my webcam, make sure you guys are able to see properly. Now you are. Okay, let's take a look. SCP-013-J. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. In the northern region of the Forest of Redacted, where SCP-013-J is known to manifest, has been registered as a protected wildlife preserve, and fenced off and labelled accordingly. Foundation agents posing as forest rangers are on hand to deter trespassers. A platform, equipped with recording and transmitting equipment, is in place, directly overlooking the space SCP-013-J occupies when manifested.
SCP-013-J is to be approached by a Foundation field agent on a weekly basis, and the exchange is to be remotely observed and directed by at least one member of the O5 Council. Unless contradicted by the O5 Council members in question, all of SCP-013-J's demands and suggestions are to be met as soon as possible. Description: SCP-013-J is an instance of Sepia officinalis, common cuttlefish. Unlike its non-anomalous counterparts, SCP-013-J is 17 meters in length, hovers in the air while moving as an instance would while underwater, and speaks with a loud, high-pitched, echoing voice. By unknown means, in addition, a bright golden light radiates, seemingly from within SCP-013-J. SCP-013-J regularly refers to itself as the cuttlefish of ultimate wisdom, and requires others to, before it will interact with them, SCP-013-J claims to be sensitive to future events, and will share possible means of preventing upcoming disasters, while often refusing to relinquish details of the disasters themselves. SCP-013-J speaks with an overly dramatic voice, and often utilizes alterations in volume, pauses, and extended vowel sounds for dramatic emphasis. Foundation staff who have been deemed quick to anger are not to approach SCP-013-J. Below are the most recent recorded interactions with SCP-013-J. So, I'm not actually going to say the names, I'll just give them voices. SCP-013, the cuttlefish of ultimate wisdom. Cuttlefish of ultimate wisdom. Speak, mortal! I've come to ask if you have any information regarding potential disasters in the future. Be warned! Be warned! Heed the cuttlefish of ultimate wisdom. Disaster looms, unless the president of Redacted makes tomorrow's commute on a pogo stick. Society shall fall. Oh, fucking Christ. Death shall hail from the sky. Death! A pogo stick? A pogo stick! A bolt of lightning strikes in the distance. Is there any other way we can... The cuttlefish has spoken! SCP-013-J dematerializes with a bright flash of light. Outcome. A social media campaign was launched, detailing how President Redacted will be travelling to work on a pogo stick to raise awareness of depression. The President himself was compelled to comply with SCP-013-J's demand by the use of drug-induced hypnosis. During the President's commute, a multi-car collision claimed the lives of Redacted's citizens. It was calculated that the President would also have been affected by the incident. It is unknown if SCP-013-J knew the exact nature of the incident and could have easily provided a less conspicuous deterrent. Step forward, Timothy! My name is Leslie. What can the cuttlefish of ultimate wisdom assist you with on this fine evening? It's 11 a.m., but anyway, I've come for a report on future events. Death! After waiting several seconds for SCP-013-J to continue, Death races for us in attractive yet functional footwear, and unless Foundation Commander, Redacted, greets all whom she interacts with her warmest of hugs, it shall come for her.
Yeah, I've met Commander Redacted. I think in her entire life she's gouged more people's eyeballs out with her bare hands than hugged. Hugs are all that will spare her soul. Really? It has to be hugs? Because after last time it seems like... Whoo! SCP-013J continues to make a ooh sound, getting steadily quieter as it fades from sight, completing the word hugs, seconds after disappearing entirely. Outcome. At the express order of 305 council members, Commander Redacted agreed to take the measures SCP-013J recommended to prevent her imminent death. 5 days after SCP-013J's prediction, Commander Redacted was deploying a squadron of agents to contain SCP Redacted, by reluctantly hugging each of them in turn, when one agent tearfully conceded how much he had needed a hug. The agent went on to confess to being an undercover agent of the Chaos Insurgency, and had been instructed to sabotage the mission, taking the lives of all agents present, including Commander Redacted. Moved by Commander Redacted's display of affection, the agent vowed to reconsider his life's choices. Commander Redacted responded by executing him where he stood. Cuttlefish of Behold from above! A beam of golden light descends from above the space directly between SCP-013J and Agent Harris, and a 3-layer Victoria sponge cake, on a plate, slowly descends to the platform. It's a cake. The fondest of wishes for your birthday, Agent Patsy. My birthday is in July. Also is Harris. And yet in my home dimension, precisely 3 years and 4 hours have passed since the moment of your birth. Huh. How about that? I actually needed to ask you about future feast on cake, or doom shall come for us all. Wait, seriously? The cake is the thing? Consume the cake! At the approval of the monitoring O5 council member, Agent Harris begins eating the cake. Oh god, it tastes like fish. Fish is an invaluable source of protein and omega-3. There's whipped cream on it. Everything is better with whipped cream. At the order of the O5 council member, Agent Harris reluctantly eats the remainder of the cake over the course of half an hour. How on earth did that accomplish anything? A world without cake has been evaded. Are you serious? Is that the only reason I just ate a fucking fish sponge cake? Cake for everyone! Identical cakes begin appearing in the same way at every Foundation site on the planet, regardless of secrecy. Analysis reveals the cakes to be made almost entirely of halibut. Outcome. It is reluctantly decided that SCP-013J's suggestions will continue to be taken seriously, and its orders followed until it ceases to be a valuable asset to the Foundation. Oh boy. SCP Cuttlefish of Ultimate Wisdom, right? Ultimate Wisdom! Cuttlefish of Ultimate Wisdom, yes. I've come for your report on future events. Senior Foundation Officer Spencer is in peril. Grave peril! And by any chance, do you know of a way to save him, which also completely unnecessarily makes him look like an idiot? Anyone who witnesses Officer Spencer must hold with all their might whatever it is they are holding at the good officer's face. Yeah, why not? Conclusion. For the following 2 weeks, Foundation staff comply with SCP-013-J's instructions, throwing mostly food and stationery at Officer Spencer, until he is injured by a trainee, transporting an anomalous typewriter. During Officer Spencer's time in the on-site medical facility, Foundation officers discovered a tumor forming in his brain, and ultimately removed it without incident. Cuttlefish of all... After waiting several seconds... I'm sorry, was that an instruction or... The fell hound of evil has made his way even to this very sanctuary! Has it? Agent Jennifer Walker! I'm clearly a man. Remove your trousers or you will doom us all to eternal damnation! Ugh. Seriously? The hour of damnation takes closer! Agent Williams is ordered to comply by the supervising O5 council member. After hesitantly moving his hands towards his belt, Williams reconsiders and his face contorts in anger. No! You know what? Fuck you! Points to SCP-013-J, and fuck you! Points to the camera for which the O5 council member is surveying. I joined the Foundation to fight monsters, not to entertain some stupid immature spacefish. Fool! You have doomed us all! How? Cuttlefish are cephalopods! Ignorance is the greatest danger in the entire universe! And I suppose we could have avoided this horrible catastrophe if I'd been standing here with no trousers like an idiot. Well, forgive me if I can... Whoa. A black and red aura surrounds Agent Williams' trousers, and he begins to rise into the air. Mwahaha! Now that I have harnessed enough of this mortal's irritation, I can destroy this world and nothing can stop me. Are you fucking kidding me? Mwahaha! Agent Williams' trousers vanish in a shroud of black smoke, leaving Williams to fall to the ground. Closing statement. Agent Williams' employment with the Foundation was terminated immediately. All future agents to interact with SCP-013-J are to be thoroughly evaluated by an on-site psychiatrist and selected based on past experience of dealing with similarly troubling entities. The hunt for former Agent Williams' trousers, the newly designated SCP Redacted, is underway, but thus far no progress has been made. That was wild. Right, okay. That guy Lost in VR, I started listening to you during COVID, and I loved having you make so many vids to listen to. I'm glad you listened to it. I'm glad I've helped you get through that. Bro, you good? Well, I'm just taking a break. Whew. The cuttlefish of ultimate wisdom. Oh, God, that's nuts. I do have a few more of these to do. That was fun. Alright, I do have another one to go. Let me see. Oh, hang on. There's a picture of a cat. SCP-PL Cot J. Okay. Alright, okay. Next one. Vogon Poetry. Obviously a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy reference here. Let's have a look. Vogon Poetry. Douglas Adams. O fuddled grunk bugly, thy micturations are to me as plurdled garble blockchets on a lurged bee. Group, I implore thee, my foonting turgling drums, and hookteously drangle me with crinkly bindle waldles. Or I will rent thee in the gooberwarts, with my blurgle crunchin', see if I don't.
Bleem miserable venture, bleem, for ever mestinglish asunder frapped. Gashi more full sight, thou expungiest quoopesk, fripping lycious wing begots. A whilst moon grovenly combs its, garond with altitude form into formless bloyet. Why not then, moose?
So, yeah, I've just read you Vogon poetry. I'm not impressed. Alright, gonna take a quick look at General. Oh dear, looks like people are posting my hot tub post in the general chat. Lovely jubbly. I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay. Okay, got another one from the Discord. Let me move over to it. Oh, god damn it. There we go. That's better. I spilled cinnamon on the aluminium linoleum. Vivacious violet vinyl vividly vibrates, vanquishing vile voices. You gotta do better than that. Right, we got some from the Urban Dictionary. Let's fucking go. Right, time to get myself banned. So, California wildfire. The use of a lighter or match to light a girl's pubes on fire, then using your jizz to put the fire out. Barbara Logan Price was shocked when I performed the California wildfire like a true professional. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Let's make sure I'm also on the right tab as well. There we go. Oh, hang on. Random word. So, random word. The one I've got here is Gyron. Super gentle, caring, pretty, respectful, and loyal. Whoever Gyron marries is going to be one lucky person. Yeah, you didn't get me too well with that one, unfortunately. Alright, now this is literally a version of the fucking Bible. Oh, no. It's not the entire thing. Okay. Let's make sure you can see it properly. Cold tub stream. I'll probably do a hot tub stream this summer, actually. Although hopefully I'll actually be in shape to do it. Me and my bathtub. Maybe. I tell you what, if all these, like, Twitch boob streamers are just, you know, if they can do that kind of shit, I see no reason why I can't. Yeah, just if I can get a setup which allows me to narrate from the hot tub, that'll be even better. Bible. Well, this page is not the entire thing. I'm assuming I can potentially go to later chapters, but I'll just do this one. John 1. The Word became flesh. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. He came as a witness to testify concerning that light, so that through him all might believe. He himself was not the light, he came only as a witness to the light.
The true light that gives light to everyone was coming into the world. He was in the world, and though the world was made through him, the world did not recognize him. He came to that which was his own, but his own did not receive him. Yet to all who did receive him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God. Children born not of natural descent, nor of human decision or a husband's will, but born of God. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son, who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. John testified concerning him. He cried out, saying, "This is the one I spoke about when I said, 'He who comes after me has surpassed me because he was before me.' Out of his fullness we have all received grace in place of grace already given. For the law was given through Moses, grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. No one has ever seen God but the one and only Son, who is himself God, and is in closest relationship with the Father, has made him known." John the Baptist denies being the Messiah. Now, this was John's testimony when the Jewish leaders in Jerusalem sent priests and Levites to ask him who he was. He did not fail to confess, but confessed freely, "I am not the Messiah." They asked him, "Then who are you? Are you Elijah?" He said, "I am not." "Are you the prophet?" He answered, "No." Finally they said, "Who are you? Give us an answer to take back to those who sent us. What do you say about yourself?" John replied in the words of Isaiah the prophet, "I am the voice of one calling in the wilderness. Make straight the way for the Lord." Now the Pharisees who had been sent questioned him. "Why then do you baptize if you are not the Messiah, nor Elijah, nor the prophet?" "I baptize with water," John replied, "but among you stands one you do not know. He is the one who comes after me, the straps of whose sandals I am not worthy to untie." This all happened at Bethany, on the other side of the Jordan, where John was baptizing. John testifies about Jesus. The next day, John saw Jesus coming toward him and said, "Look, the Lamb of God, who takes away the sins of the world. This is the one I meant when I said, 'A man who comes after me has surpassed me because he was before me.' I myself did not know him, but the reason I came baptizing with water was that he might be revealed to Israel." Then John gave this testimony. "I saw the Spirit come down from heaven as a dove and remain on him. And I myself did not know him, but the one who sent me to baptize with water told me, 'The man on whom you see the Spirit come down and remain is the one who will baptize with the Holy Spirit.' I have seen, and I testify that this is God's chosen one." John's disciples followed Jesus. The next day John was there again with two of his disciples. When he saw Jesus passing by, he said, "Look, the Lamb of God." When the two disciples heard him say this, they followed Jesus. Turning around, Jesus saw them following and asked, "What do you want?" They said, "Rabbi," which means teacher, "where are you staying?" "Come," he replied, "and you will see." So they went and saw where he was staying, and they spent that day with him. It was about 4 p.m. Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, was one of the two who heard what John had said and who had followed Jesus. The first thing Andrew did was to find his brother Simon and tell him, "We have found the Messiah," that is, the Christ, and he brought him to Jesus. Jesus looked at him and said, "You are Simon, son of John. You will be called Cephas," which, when translated, is Peter.
Jesus calls Philip and Nathanael. The next day, Jesus decided to leave for Galilee. Finding Philip, he said to him, "Follow me." Philip, like Andrew and Peter, was from the town of Bethsaida. Philip found Nathanael and told him, "We have found the one Moses wrote about in the law, and about whom the prophets also wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph." "Nazareth? Can anything good come from there?" Nathanael asked. "Come and see," said Philip. When Jesus saw Nathanael approaching, he said of him, "Here truly is an Israelite, in whom there is no deceit." "How do you know me?" Nathanael asked. Jesus answered, "I saw you while you were still under that fig tree before Philip called you." Then Nathanael declared, "Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel." Jesus said, "You believe because I told you I saw you under the fig tree? You will see greater things than that." He then added, "Very truly, I tell you, you will see heaven open, and the angels of God ascending and descending on the Son of Man." Okay, that's an interesting one. Ooh, that guy's lost in VR. You probably already asked this. What is your favourite free stories you've read? Ooh, I say Just One Drop is definitely my favourite right now. It's long to do, but it's so well written. That's definitely one of my favourites. God, what else? I'm not going to say Galactic High. Normally, whenever I get asked that question, I use that as a cop-out, but Galactic High is the one I wrote, so no, I can't do it. Billy Bob's up there as well. It's a very good series. Great fun to do as well. That's the thing. I mean, it's ones I like to have fun doing. So I guess Spifflemonk is probably my third favourite. Yeah, so those three. Just One Drop, Billy Bob, and Spifflemonk, I'd say. Yeah, although Spifflemonk is just like an interconnected series of one-shots, pretty much. I would say Token Human as well, just because that adds something comfy to the to the genre, and yeah, we don't get enough of that, to be honest. A lot of it is, people like to go on about, oh no, it's genocide, that kind of stuff. I mean, that's at its core, HFY does have its roots in that kind of stuff, in the brutal stuff, but it does have comfy stuff as well, which the Token Human series, even though they're connected one-shots, that is definitely one of my favourites as well for that reason. So I've given you 4 rather than 3. Paying basic instructions is not something I'm that good at. Hot tub streaming, yeah, possibly. Or should we get banned for reading the New Testament? Jesus. Well, maybe I'll end up doing the Bible as a special or something. I don't know. I do have something planned, which I'm going to need to curate a little bit, but you'll find out what it is when it comes out. So how late am I to this? About 3 and a bit hours. I started at 9. God, we should have done the Gospel according to Ceiling Cat. Well, I will endeavour to try and do more live narration streams at some point, so you can just add it then. Commit a stream out of an Olympic-sized pool. Now that's weird. No, but yeah, I'll see what I can do. I'm got a decent way through a lot of this. All right, there's a direct link. I'm just going to open a few more. Okay. Ooh, now this is something I want to cover at some point. The Unabomber. Yeah, I've got to do that shit. Well, I'm going to open a few of these. Oh, God. Yeah, so I'm just opening a few tabs on the Discord at the moment.
Let me have a look. Okay. Oh yes, I remember this. This was weird. So just read the filming section of American Psycho. Jolly good. Alright, we're pretty much done with that, I guess. Now, there have been a few that have just been tacked on at the end, but I will be calling it and going to bed at some point after I've just done these. But I will plan, because this seems to be quite popular, I will be planning another live narration stream sometime in the future. Maybe it'll be when I hit 400,000 subscribers, but, you know, assuming things go well. If not, I'll probably end up... doing it once a month or something like that, maybe twice a month, I don't know. I do want to stream more often, but I just got to get my work-life balance sorted out because I've been absolutely exhausted from doing the house this week. And just getting stuff, just getting it sorted, like the bookcase behind me and this desk. My friend is a human. Is that like my best friend is a human? I don't know if the guy's still actually posting, but yeah, he changed tack on a bunch of things really, really quickly. So my guess is he didn't have the most concrete of plans going into that one. And yeah, Wearing Power Armor to a Magic School is a very good series. Even though I think chronologically they've only spent 1.5 weeks in the setting. Which, to be fair, isn't that much better with Galactic High, because Galactic High has only just had a time skip. Will there be any fortnight, or is this it for the next few years? It's once the author decides to write more, if indeed they decide to do it. So, if they write more, send it my way and I'll get it done. But I can only go so far as what is actually being written. Alright, let's go through this mad list, which... let's make sure I'm on the right thing. Okay, so this one. Can you lick the science of licking things? Geneticists. Do not, unless cheek swabs. Chemistry. No, do not. Archaeologist. Perhaps, but might be human bone. Geology. Sometimes needed, sometimes dangerous. Psychology. Best not. Physics. How? Zoology. In zoology, science licks you. Anthropology. Maybe ask first. Herpetology. Bad plan, bad plan, bad plan. Sociology. Yes, if you have time and dedication, any willingness to piss a lot of people off. Botany. You might hallucinate or die. Or it might be delicious. Computer science. The tingle of electricity on your tongue is how you know it's working. Epidemiology. For the sake of the world, please do not. Linguistics. Despite the name, please probably don't. Engineering. Maybe, but it'll probably taste like spreadsheets. Software engineering. Nothing else has made the code work, so you might as well try it. Neuroscience. That is someone's brain. No, do not. Marine biology. You can try, but you'll probably just get a mouthful of seawater. Library science. Sir, we already taught you about this. As an archaeologist can confirm, licking can tell you if it's a rock, a bone, or pottery. To go a step further, pop a wad of dirt in your mouth to figure out if it's slitty loam or loamy silt. Silty loam or loamy silt. There we go. OMG, the first field trip and my archaeology teacher is all, lick it, and I can teach you how if it's bone or rock. And then 4 hours in the Mojave Desert with 14 students licking small bites to learn rock from bone. Okay, that's quite a weird one. Oh. So, Arsh's Steam reviews. Well, I'll read the first one. Some stupid moron killer decided to target the most unhinged fry cook in the world, who filled the entire kitchen with food and knives. Poor killer didn't stand a chance. I'm going to need some context for that. Yeah. Some of these are random. So I'll just stick with the top one and move on. Oh dear, someone's sent me a notification about Galactica. Sub dude, you've been missing for almost 2 weeks now. Yeah, well, hopefully I'll get something done tomorrow. Because there ain't no fucking way I'm going to get it done tonight. Right. Ted Kaczynski letter to MK. Ted Kaczynski describes his experiences in the wilderness and his thoughts on civilization, violence, and green anarchism. Ah, dear. Up to the time when I entered Harvard University, at the age of 16, I used to dream of escaping from civilization and going to live in some wild place. During the same period, my distaste for modern life grew, as I became increasingly aware that people in industrial society were reduced to the status of gears in a machine, that they lacked freedom, and were at the mercy of the large organizations that controlled the conditions under which they lived. After I entered Harvard University, I took some courses in anthropology, which taught me more about primitive peoples. It gave me an appetite to acquire some of the knowledge that enabled them to live in the wild. For example, I wished to have their knowledge of edible plants, but I had no idea where to get such knowledge until a couple of years later, when I discovered to my surprise that there were books about edible wild plants. The first such book that I bought was Stalking the Wild Asparagus by Uriel Givens, and after that, when I was home from college and graduate school during the summers, I went several times each week to the Cook County Forest Preserves near Chicago to look for edible plants. At first it seemed eerie and strange to go all alone into the forest, away from all roads and paths. But as I came to know the forest and many of the plants and animals that lived in it, the feeling of strangeness disappeared, and I grew more and more comfortable in the woodland. I also became more and more certain that I did not want to spend my whole life in civilization, and that I wanted to go and live in some wild place. Meanwhile, I was doing well in mathematics. It was fun to solve mathematical questions. Problems. Fuck. Oh dear, I'm fading. But in a deeper sense, mathematics was boring and empty because for me it had no purpose. If I had worked on applied mathematics, I would have contributed to the development of the technological society that I hated, so I only worked on pure mathematics. But pure mathematics was only a game. I did not understand then, and I still do not understand, why mathematicians are content to fritter away their whole lives in a mere game. I myself was completely dissatisfied with such a title. Nope. I myself was completely dissatisfied with such a life. I knew what I wanted, to go and live in some wild place. But I didn't know how to do so. In those days, there were no primitivist movements, no survivalists, and anyone who left a promising career in mathematics to go live among forests or mountains would have been regarded as foolish or crazy. I did not know even one person who would volunteer. No. I did not know even one person who would have understood why I wanted to do such a thing. So, deep in my heart, I felt convinced that I would never be able to escape from civilization. Because I found modern life absolutely unacceptable, I grew increasingly hopeless until, at the age of 24, I arrived at a kind of crisis. I felt so miserable that I didn't care whether I lived or died. But when I reached that point, a sudden change took place. I realized that if I didn't care whether I lived or died, then I didn't need to fear the consequences of anything I might do. Therefore, I could do anything I wanted.
I was free. That was the great turning point in my life, because it was then that I acquired courage, which has remained with me ever since. It was at that time, too, that I became certain that I would soon go to live in the wild, no matter what the consequences. I spent 2 years teaching at the University of California in order to save some money. Then I resigned my position and went to look for a place to live in the forest. I wrote for my journal on August 14th, 1983. The 5th of August I began a hike to the east. I got to my hidden camp that I have in a gulch beyond what I call Diagonal Gulch. I stayed there through the following day. August 6th.
Oh, Christ. Oh, we're getting there.
I felt the peace of the forest there, but there are a few huckleberries there, and though there are deer, there is very little small game. Furthermore, it has been a long time since I have seen the beautiful and isolated plateau where the various branches of Trout Creek originate. So I decided to take off for that area on the 7th of August. A little after crossing the roads in the neighborhood of Crater Mountain, I began to hear chainsaws. The sounds seemed to be coming from the upper reaches of Rooster Bill Creek. I assumed they were cutting trees. I didn't like it, but I thought I would be able to avoid such things when I got onto the plateau. Walking across the hillsides on my way there, I saw down below me a new road that had not been there previously, and that appeared to cross one of the ridges that close in Stemple Creek. This made me feel a little sick. Nevertheless, I went on to the plateau. What I found there broke my heart. The plateau was crisscrossed with new roads, broad and well made for roads of that kind. The plateau is ruined forever. The only thing that could save it now would be the collapse of the technological society. I couldn't bear it. That was the best and most beautiful and isolated place around here, and I have wonderful memories of it. One road passed within a couple of 100 feet of a lovely spot where I camped for a long time a few years ago, and passed many happy hours. Full of grief and rage, I went back and camped by South Fork Humbug Creek. The next day I started for my home cabin. My route took me past a beautiful spot, a favourite place of mine where there was a spring of pure water that could safely be drunk without boiling. I stopped and said a kind prayer to the spirit of the spring. It was a prayer in which I swore that I would take the revenge for what was being done to the forest. No.
Oh, Christ. I was trying to get this all done, but God, I'm about to drop dead.
It was a prayer in which I swore that I would take revenge for what was being done to the forest. My journal continues. And then I returned home as quickly as I could, because I have something to do. You can guess what it was that I had to do. The problem of civilization is identical with the problem of technology. Let me first explain that when I speak of technology, I do not refer only to physical apparatus, such as tools and machines. I also include techniques, such as the techniques of chemistry, civil engineering, or biotechnology. Included, too, are human techniques, such as those of propaganda or of educational psychology, as well as organizational techniques, could not exist at an advanced level without the physical apparatus. The tools, machines, and structures on which the whole technological system depends. However, technology in the broader sense of the word includes not only modern technology, but also the techniques and physical apparatus that existed at earlier stages of society. For example, ploughs, harness for animals, blacksmith's tools, domesticated breeds of plants and animals, and the techniques of agriculture, animal husbandry, and metalworking. Early civilizations depended on these technologies, as well as on the human and organizational techniques needed to govern large numbers of people. Whew. Civilizations cannot exist without the technology on which they are based. Conversely, where the technology is available, civilization is likely to develop sooner or later. Thus, the problem with civilization can be equated with the problem of technology. The farther back we can push technology, the farther back we will push civilization. If we could push technology all the way back to the Stone Age, there'll be no more civilization.
Oh, Jesus Christ. My arse is so numb. Oh well. This is one of the longer ones we've got to do.
In reference to my alleged actions, you ask, don't you think violence is violence? Of course violence is violence, and violence is also a necessary part of nature. If predators did not kill members of prey species, then the prey species would multiply to the point where they would destroy their environment by consuming everything edible. Many kinds of animals are violent even against members of their own species. For example, chimpanzees often kill other chimpanzees. In some regions, fights are common among wild bears. The magazine Bears and Other Top Predators, Volume 1, Issue 2, pages 28 to 29, shows a photograph of bears fighting, and a photograph of a bear wounded in a fight, and mentions that such wounds can be deadly. See article Sibling Desperado. Science News, Volume 163, February 15th, 2003. Human beings in the wild constitute one of the more violent species. A good general survey of the cultures of hunting and gathering peoples is The Hunting Peoples by Carleton S. Kuhn, published by Little, Brown and Company, Boston and Toronto, 1971, and in this book you will find numerous examples in hunting and gathering societies of violence by human beings against other human beings. Professor Kuhn makes clear, pages 19, 3, 4, 9, 10, that he admires hunting and gathering peoples, and regards them as more fortunate than civilized ones. But he is an honest man and does not censor out those aspects of primitive life, such as violence, that appear disagreeable to modern people. Thus, it is clear that a significant amount of violence is a natural part of human life. There is nothing wrong with violence in itself. In any particular case, whether violence is good or bad depends on how it is used, and the purpose for which it is used. So why do modern people regard violence as evil in itself? They do so for one reason only. They are being brainwashed by propaganda. Modern society uses various forms of propaganda to teach people to be frightened and horrified by violence, because the techno-industrial system needs a population that is timid, docile, and afraid to assert itself. A population that will not make trouble or disrupt the orderly functioning of the system. Power depends ultimately on physical force. By teaching people that violence is wrong, except, of course, when the system itself uses violence via the police or the military, the system maintains its monopoly on physical force, and thus keeps all power in its own hands. Whatever philosophical or moral rationalizations people may invent to explain their belief that violence is wrong, the real reason for that belief is that they have unconsciously absorbed the system's propaganda. All of the groups you mention here are part of a single movement. Let's call it the GA, Green Anarchist Movement. Of course, these people are right to the extent that they oppose civilization and the technology on which it is based. But, because of the form in which this movement is developing, it may actually help to protect the techno-industrial system and may serve as an obstacle to revolution. I will explain. It is difficult to suppress rebellion directly. When rebellion is put down by force, it very often breaks out again later in some new form, in which the authorities find it more difficult to control. For example, in 1878, the German Reichstag enacted harsh and repressive laws against the Social Democratic movement, as a result of which the movement was crushed and its members were scattered, confused and discouraged, but only for a short time. The movement soon reunited itself, became more energetic, and found new ways of spreading its ideals, so that by 1884 it was stronger than ever. G.A. Zimmermann, Das 19. Jahrhundert, Zweithalb, Zweitetel, Druck und Verlang von Geo, Brumder, Milwaukee, 1902, page 23.
Thus, astute observers of human affairs know that the powerful classes of a society can most effectively defend themselves against rebellion by using that force and direct representation only to a limited extent, and rely mainly on manipulation to deflect rebellion. One of the most effective devices used is that of providing channels through which rebellious impulses can be expressed in ways that are harmless to the system. For example, it is well known that in the Soviet Union, the satirical magazine Crocodile was designed to provide an outlet for complaints and for resentment of the authorities in a way that would lead no one to question the legitimacy of the Soviet system or rebel against it in any serious way. But the democratic system of the West has a remarkable fact that in modern Western... Oh, I got the wrong line there. But the democratic system of the West has evolved mechanisms for deflecting rebellion that are far more sophisticated and effective than any that existed in the Soviet Union. It is a truly remarkable fact that in modern Western society, people rebel in favor of the values of the very system against which they imagine themselves to be rebelling. The left rebels in favor of racial and religious equality, equality for women and homosexuals, humane treatment of animals, and so forth. But these are the values that the American mass media teaches over and over again every day. Leftists have been so thoroughly brainwashed by media propaganda that they are able to rebel only in terms of these values, which are values of the techno-industrial system itself. In this way, the system has successfully deflected the rebellious impulses of the left into channels that are harmless to the system. Rebellion against technology and civilization is real rebellion, a real attack on the values of the existing system. But the green anarchists, anarcho-primitives, God, I almost fell asleep there, and so forth, the GA movement, have fallen under such heavy influence from the left that their rebellion against civilization has to a great extent been neutralized. Instead of rebelling against the values of civilization, they have adopted many civilized values themselves and have constructed an imaginary picture of primitive societies that embodies these civilized values. Oh, that was a long one. What is like a blooper or word misread you had that you... So my bloopers when I'm laughing, you can hear me laughing. I mean, there's one coming up with sexy steampunk babes, because I've recorded a spicy chapter, but I haven't done the guest character disclaimer thing, and there ain't no way you're going to guess what's going to come up in this one, unless you're a mod, which I've told you, but you're all sworn to silence. Oh. Interesting conversations in the chat. Right. So I'm going to finish this, and then the party will continue because I'm going to do something called a raid to basically send you to another stream. So be nice when that happens. We'll go we'll roll back into that in a bit. But anyway, SCP-420J. Object class, awesome. Hey man, that's not a real class. You gotta make it safe or something. Dr. M. Oh yeah, you're right man, it's totally safe. Dr. C. Object class, awesome? Totally safe. Special containment procedures. We keep it down in room redacted. In the basement of building redacted. At site redacted. The password is redacted. What are you doing, man? You can't just tell everyone where we keep the redacted, because then everyone's going to want to come and get some. Dr. M. Hey, you can't say redacted in the articles, man. Oh, redacted. Dr. C. Description. Okay, so I got this stuff when we were down in Jamaica. Really strong stuff with lots of blue and red mixed in it. Good, redacted man. Me and M, we were smoking that stuff down there with redacted and skinny redacted when M redacted says... He says to me, hey man, we should take this stuff back and send it through that machine thing that changes things and makes things better. And I said that was an excellent idea, and so we did. Man, we tried it on very fine first, and whoa, we were laughing for weeks. Sucks what happened to redacted. Still funny as redacted, though. Dr. M. So we get this really great redacted out of the machine, and me and M try it out, and we're like, whoa, man, that is some excellent redacted. But then we used it all up and didn't have anything left but the seeds, and we figured we couldn't just get rid of them, so we decided to plant them and grow them. And then M was like, hey man, what about that dirt that makes redacted grow real fast? And I said that was an excellent idea. So we went and got some dirt and planted the seeds in it, and oh wow, man, that is some excellent redacted. Oh, Jesus. I need water. More water. Experiment log. Test 1. We should give some of this redacted to that big lizard thing. It'll totally mellow him. Dr. C. Yeah, man, but what if he gets the munches? Dr. M. Test 2. Man, I gave some of this redacted to Josie, and she chased her tail for like 2 hours. Dr. C. Note, animal testing of SCP-420J is no longer allowed. Junior researcher R has been identified in security footage, fleeing site redacted, in a stolen maintenance vehicle with an SCP-420J affected canine. Further research pending. Director Jones. Test 3. We should totally give some of this redacted to Iris, man. Dr. C. Man, quit trying to get laid with that redacted. Dr. M. Test 4. Oh, man, let's give some of this redacted to, what's his face? That kick-ass guy. Dr. C.
How I say, gentlemen, your SCP-420J certainly causes one to experience the most extraordinary of sensations. This, sirs, is indeed quite excellent. Redacted. Do that?
Dr. M. Test 5. Hey, man, what if we gave some of this redacted to that freaky statue thing? Dr. C. Why, man? He's like already stoned. Dr. M. Disciplinary review. Upon discovery of this extremely unprofessional behavior, all remaining samples of SCP-420J have been confiscated. Dr. Clef. Addendum. Can anyone tell me why Dr. Clef just walked in here demanding stir-fried noodles, pizza, corn chips, and dark chocolate? He was smiling too. What the fuck? Cafeteria staff. Addendum 2. Redacted, man. He even took the stash of C's in my... Redacted. Dr. C. It's alright, man. I know we're going tea. Redacted. Dr. M. Addendum 3. Where can I score some of this? Redacted. Dr. Fredericks. Addendum 4. Oh dear, this is a... How big are you? Alright, we can do this one. Yeah, so remember a while back when me and M
We got hold of that excellent redacted, and we were like, whoa, holy redacted, that is excellent. And then we shared some of the redacted we had. Well, M's like, dude, we should do that again. And I'm like, yeah, man, we totally should. And so we did. Test 1. Hey, man, you already used that one in the last thing. Dr. M. Oh, yeah. Hold on, let me count. Dr. C. Test a billion. What the... Man, you can't count that high. Fix that, redacted. Dr. M. Test A. Hey, man, I gave some of this, redacted, to that dude with the arm. Dr. M. Did you like it, man? Dr. C. I think so, man. He gave me a thumbs up. Dr. M. Transcript SCP-11932 WDY4. Begin recording 04/01/2016, 10:26 a.m. Hello? Who is calling, please? Dude. I'm sorry? Oh my god, man. It's just... Dude. I'm sorry, I don't understand. What are you talking about? Dude, this, redacted, is excellent, man. What's, this, redacted, you're talking about? Oh, redacted. Sorry, man. Gotta go. Dave's here. Call terminated. End recording. Test B. I gave some of this, redacted, to those hot catgirl chicks, man. Dr. C. I told you, man, quit trying to get laid with that, redacted. Besides, man, they can totally kick your ass all the way back to LA. Dr. M. I know, man, they totally did. Totally worth it, though, man. These chicks really know how to get spaced out. Dr. C. Test C. What if we gave some of this, redacted, to that dude who doesn't like anybody? Maybe it'll mellow him out some. Dr. M. Go away, monkey man, you don't deserve this, redacted. SCP-11711. Dude, that, redacted, worked. Dr. C. Test D. Hey man, what happened when you gave that, redacted, to that basketball game? Dr. M. Oh, wow man, it turned into a dead show. Dr. C. Ah, redacted. Yeah, man. Was Jerry there? Dr. M. Yeah, man, he looked pretty good for, being dead and all. Dr. C. Test E. Hey, man, let's give some of this, redacted, to that weird clown guy. Dr. C. I don't know, man. Clowns are some scary. Let me redo that. I don't know, man. Clowns are some scary, redacted. Dr. M. Don't worry, man. It'll be cool. Dr. C. Incident CN0993Q. On 04/08/16, a new episode of Bobble the Clown was intercepted. Episode name, Bobble Gets Baked. Episode description. The episode begins with Bobble the Clown sitting on a couch smoking a comically oversized marijuana cigarette. Instead of the typical clown outfit, Bobble is wearing a Bob Marley t-shirt, a grey hoodie, and pajama bottoms decorated with marijuana leaves. The rest of Bobble's costume, hat, wig, makeup, nose, gloves, and shoes are as typical. The episode is divided into 3 segments: how to roll the perfect doobie, how to make a bong out of found materials, and how to take over the regional black market drug trade with ruthless efficiency. The last segment is by far the longest and ends with a 6+ minute montage of Bobble the Clown gunning down drug rivals using a wide variety of powerful firearms. I think we'll actually end on this one because my voice is going. I told you clowns are scary as, redacted. Dr. M. Yeah, man, totally. But that clown nose is, redacted. Dr. C. Test F. Man, I tried to give some of this, redacted, to that old dude who keeps getting cut up, but he just said no. Dr. M. Test G. Hey man, we should give some of this redacted to that guy. Oh, what's his name? Oh yeah, Spanky. Dr. M. Incident DK2337 48L. On 04/17/16 at 23:35, an excessive auditory event occurred in interview room 19 at Site 17. Sound pressure measurements estimate loudness in excess of 120 decibels within 10 meters of interview room 19, setting off seismic detectors around the site. Witnesses describe the sound as like a hacking cough, except cackling. Dude, cack, man. Just cack. Dr. M. Whoa, that's some deep, redacted, man. Dr. C. Test H. Yeah, man, so I was looking for a place to light up without any people around. So I went out on this staircase, and it looked all right, quiet, no one around. But then all this freaky redacted started happening, and I got out of there, man. But I must have dropped my joint back there somewhere. I just lost my redacted, man. Dr. C. Image captured 04/22/2016 at 16:48. Show image. And there we go. Well, now I do have other tabs open. However, you can tell by my voice I keep cutting out and I'm struggling a little bit. So rather than completely batter my voice before I record next week, I'm probably going to end it here. But we will do another live narration. I'm going to post, I'm going to basically mark where we are on the live narration channel. And we're going to do it again sometime. Alright? So thank you very much everybody for watching. We've been going for almost 4 hours. So I'm just going to hang out here, watch you guys, see what's going on, and then I will call it for tonight. So how are you guys all doing? And yeah, people have pointed out that I sound tired, so I'm going to go to sleep. I think if I try and power on and continue on, I can probably go, but the quality is going to suffer a little bit, and already has a little bit as well. You all doing all right? How are you all doing? Yeah, that's the thing. 50 tongue twisters. There's no way. Like we will start with that one next time. But yeah, not today. We will do it. We'll do another stream at another point. I just need to work out what I do to end the stream, because yeah, an eagle eye viewer spotted that I was looking at what was it called? Raise and stuff. Bear in mind, it's basically just redirecting you to someone else, so we'll be doing that. So yeah, I'm just going to see if I can find somebody worthy to send you towards, but if not, that's all good. Well, we'll see. We'll find a worthy live stream that we'll raid, and we'll see if that works. Okay, right. Let me see. Okay, yeah, here we go. Okay, so we're going to do that. Okay, no idea how this necessarily works, but yeah. Yeah, Flint spotted it. Thank you very much, Flint, for doing that. We are redirecting, so thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. As I say, this has been fun. And I will see you guys next time, and I am going to get some sleep. Bye for now, but we will do this again. So make sure you stick around for that, and